So America just quietly dropped a new global doctrine. It basically says, we're not the world's police anymore. Jeez, finally. We're the boss of our own hemisphere and everyone else can deal with theirs. On December 5th, the White House released Trump's new national security strategy. Inside the document is something they're already calling the Trump corollary to the old Monroe Doctrine. Translation, the United States is already declaring dominance over the Western Hemisphere. North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. He's basically saying that this is our neighborhood, our rules. At the same time, it signals something huge. America is stepping back from trying to manage every crisis on the planet. Here's the core of it. America first, but not just the slogan, as the actual blueprint. The strategy says that the US is done acting like a global babysitter and instead wants to be a regional superpower at home with select pressure overseas. It talks about sovereignty, borders, migration, cartels, critical minerals, energy, not spreading democracy or building global institutions. And in Europe, the document literally talks about civilization erasure, mass migration, and cultural collapse, and basically tells Europe you're on your own. In the Americas, this doctrine means cracking down on cartels and narco-terror groups, pushing back hard on China's influence in Latin America, and trying to stabilize countries down south so mass migration doesn't end up on US border. In Europe, leaders are freaking out. French and EU leaders are calling it brutal and a declaration of political war, because it blows up the old idea that America will always bail out Europe first. And on Russia and China, this doctrine quietly accepts a world of spheres of influence, meaning that it acknowledges that there are only three global powers: the US, Russia, and China. The goal is to avoid a giant global war by not trying to run everything anymore. So here's the question: is this smart realism where we're admitting that we can't police the entire planet, or is it dangerous because it gives Russia, China, and Iran more room to operate in their own backyards? Does America get stronger when it focuses on its own hemisphere, or weaker if it stops acting like the glue that holds the old world order together?
And trust me, we have definitely been focusing on hemispherical dominance because, yep, last night, or this morning, we struck Venezuela, we swooped in, and, well, we captured Maduro. Yeah. Now, Trump is going to hold a press conference in about 5 minutes to, I guess, gloat about it, explain how it went down, and, of course, take questions. But what pretty much happened is that the United States, we came in, we struck key military assets, we touched ground, and we captured Maduro. We took out his what was it? His military deputy, or what was it? Military or defense minister. Yes, we took out his defense minister as well. So we captured Maduro, his wife, took out his defense minister, and now there is cheers in the streets for those who hated Maduro, and the people who love Maduro are sadly locking and loading. So let's see how this all plays out. We're going to go ahead and start off with Fox News, and then we're going to go ahead and tune into Trump's press conference when it starts. All right, guys? So let's not forget to double tap that screen, like the video, and let's go.
And if you're just joining us this morning, we have major breaking news. Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro has been captured by U.S. forces. President Trump confirming the large-scale U.S. military operation overnight.
Attorney General Pam Bondi confirming Maduro and his wife face drug and weapons charges in the U.S. And about 20 minutes ago, Vice President J.D. Vance revealing President Trump offered Maduro multiple off-ramps.
All this comes after explosions rocked the capital of Caracas and surrounding states early this morning. President Trump is expected to hold a news conference from Mar-a-Lago at 11 a.m. this morning. But first, he joins us now by phone. And let's get right to the President of the United States, Donald Trump. President Trump, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
On the phone.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning.
So you've had quite a busy evening. Tell us about it.
It was slightly busy, I would say. It was very dark all over, especially in Venezuela. The team did an incredible job. They rehearsed and practiced like nobody's ever seen. And I was told by real military people that there's no other country on earth that can do such a maneuver.
I mean, yeah, we pretty much got Maduro. I mean, let's be real, in less than a day. In less than 4 hours, and we're joking about it on X, calling it the 1 hour war, basically the 1 hour conflict. And that's it. We just went in there, we struck them, we grabbed Maduro and his wife, and we left off into the wind. I mean, you got to be impressed because when we first struck Venezuela, even I was like, ah, crap. It looks like, a lot of people are saying this is going to be drug out like Vietnam. A lot of people say, oh, we don't need this regime change because we can get dragged into it. But it seems like, well, the Maduro regime fell pretty easy. It's like we just blew on it a little bit and it just fell over. Now, I didn't expect it to be this easy, but I'm happy. I'm actually pretty happy that it was easy for us. I disagree with the fact that Trump attacked them at first, but now that it worked out for us, I mean, can I really be mad? Not really.
Maneuver. If you would have seen what happened, I mean, I watched it literally like I was watching a television show. And if you would have seen the speed, the violence, they say that, the speed, the violence, they use that term. It's it was an amazing thing, an amazing job that these people did. There's nobody else could have done anything like it.
You're at Mar-a-Lago right now. How were you able to watch this?
Well, we watched it from a room. We had a room and we watched it, and we watched every aspect of it. We were surrounded by lots of people, including generals, and they knew everything that was happening. And it was very complex, extremely complex, the whole maneuver, the landings, the number of aircraft, which were a massive number, the number of helicopters, a different type of helicopters, different type of fighter jets. We had a fighter jet for every possible situation. And they just broke in, and they broke into places that were not really able to be broke into, with steel doors. That was
like we disabled almost every military asset and left them completely defenseless, where we could put troops on the ground and pretty much extract Maduro.
You were put there for just this reason, and they got taken out in a matter of seconds. I've never seen anything like it. Actually.
And you were able to watch this in real time.
Yeah, and don't forget, I've done some pretty good ones in other parts of the world. Okay, I've done some pretty good ones, but I've never seen anything like this. I was able to watch it in real time, and I watched every aspect of it, and I listened to the communication between, where we were in Florida and out in the field in Venezuela, and it was amazing to see the professionalism, the quality of leadership, the professionalism. General Raisin Kane is fantastic. Don't forget, we did another one not so long ago. It was called the knocking out of the Iranian nuclear threat, the nuclear power. And that was unbelievable what they did there. And this is something that, gee, I don't know, it's amazing. And to have a few injuries, but no death on our side is really amazing.
Mr. President.
Yeah, I seen the report. Yeah, there were no deaths on our side, but I mean, yeah, we definitely took out some Venezuelan soldiers. I mean, when we captured Maduro, the man had blood on his shirt. So you know what that means. We didn't shoot him, but we definitely shot somebody in front of him.
Critics will say that strong action can risk escalation, but history has shown us that weakness can truly invite chaos. And this military operation clearly sends a message to our adversaries around the world, China, Iran, Russia, that we are no longer the weak administration that we had for 4 years under former President Biden, who tolerated narco-terrorism. What is next for the United States and Venezuela?
Well, we're very strong, and very importantly, if you look at drugs through the oceans, through the seas, they're down 90%.
Oh, guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen. Appreciate the support, guys.
97%. That's the boats. It's sort of related to this, as you know.
On soon.
The drugs are way down, and it's getting very, very tough. It's a whole different look. We have a whole different country. We have a country now that's respected. We have a country. I built the military in my first term, and they gave a little chunk of it away, but it was a lot. But it was a little chunk relative to what we built. But they gave it to Afghanistan so stupidly. It was one of the. Compare this to Afghanistan, where we were a laughing stock all over the world. We're not a laughing stock anymore. No, we have the greatest military in the world by far. We have the greatest military equipment in the world by far. And you had to see this in real time. You had to see this, the professionalism and the bravery, everything about it. And you almost couldn't hold them back. It was like they wanted to go so badly. And most people would have said, I'll take a pass. I know that Charlie would have wanted to go because Charlie's a very brave person. But I know a lot of other people would have said, I think I'll pass on this one. let's watch it on television.
Yeah,
So it's been amazing to see how good they were, how professional they were, how incredible the equipment we have is. I mean, the level of equipment.
I mean, let's be real. I am thoroughly impressed. And I mean, anybody who's being honest, you're thoroughly impressed as well at how well we was able to capture Maduro, how well we knocked off those military strikes without a hitch, without a soldier being lost. And we got everything we wanted. Well, which is Maduro and his wife. Now, right now, the intermediate president is the vice president of, was the vice president of Venezuela, but now is the interim president. Now, I'm not sure if this is the person that's just stepping into Maduro just to take his spot, and she's going to try to hold the government that Maduro had together, or is this just somebody that we're waiting to replace until the Nobel Prize winner? What's her name? Her first name is Maria, but I forgot her last one, Maria Corina or something like that. But yeah. We're going to go ahead and grab her from Oslo, Norway, and go ahead and bring her and install her as the president of Venezuela. And you already know, she's already stated how she's going to work with us on the rare earths, the oil, natural resources. She's going to give us everything we want. And we don't need Maduro to stay in power for that.
And to see how it worked so perfectly. And, if you compare this to attacks on Iran over the years with, helicopters crashing into each other. The whole thing was a mess. The Jimmy Carter situation, which was a mess. And every other situation compared to this, nobody's ever seen like this. Look, the Iranian attack, knocking out their nuclear power was big. We had peace in the Middle East, and we have it. Without that, you could never have peace in the Middle East. We knocked them out, and look what's happening now to Iran, but we knocked it out. That was, it could not have been better. And this could not have been better. I don't even know which is, these are both really important. If you think about equal and importance, I wonder how it's going to be rated. But knocking out the nuclear power of, they were ready. They were within 2 months.
I am a bit weary that he's talking about Iran because, he did make that threat saying that if Iran starts, violently handling their own protesters, that he's going to go ahead and get involved. And I'm just like, hold on, are we really going to put like military effort or boot? Of course, I doubt we're going to put boots on the ground over, a protest in Iran, but are we really going to do a military strike because there's a protest in Iran? Now, no, they're not, they're not creating a nuke, not even enriching uranium, but there's a protest going on that don't really involve us. And for some reason, Trump wants to get involved. That is a bit concerning. I mean, very concerning.
Would have been a nuclear power. And comparing that to this in a certain different way, I think this might have been actually more complex.
Well, it's interesting.
That was something that was amazing.
It's interesting, Mr. President. We've looked, our own Lucas Tomlinson, our reporter here. I don't know if you knew this intentionally, but the capture of Maduro and his wife coincides with the 6th anniversary of your taking out the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Qasem Soleimani. Interestingly, it's 6 years after. But let me ask you a question, Mr. President. Because
by the way, that was the third thing, and we have a fourth. We got Soleimani. We have taken out so many. Look at what we did to the leader of ISIS, who's no longer with us, right? And everybody was after for 20 years, and we got him. We've done a lot, but this was something, maybe because it's fresh in our minds, because again, the Iranian situation was so big, knocking that out, and the B-2 bomber, every single missile hit its target. And the target was an air shaft.
Right. Dark
at night. Think of that. Dark at night, no moon. You couldn't see a thing. And every missile went right through that air shaft and just obliterated the place. So that was amazing. And this was amazing.
I wonder, Mr. President, though, I want to ask you because from your vice president, J.D. Vance, said that the message is pretty clear. The drug trafficking must stop. So was this operation a message that you're sending to Mexico, to Claudia Sheinbaum, the president there?
Well, it wasn't meant to be, and we're very friendly with her. She's a good woman, but the cartels are running Mexico. She's not running Mexico. The cartels are running Mexico. And we could be politically correct and be nice and say, oh, yes, she is. No, she's very, she's very frightened of the cartels. They're running Mexico. And I've asked her numerous times, would you like us to take out the cartels? No, 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 Mr. President. No, 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 please. So we have to do something because we lost. The real number is 300,000 people, in my opinion. You know, they like to say 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of people, but the real number is 300,000 people. And we lost it to drugs, and they come in through the southern border, mostly the southern border. Plenty come in through Canada, too, by the way, in case you don't know. But
I mean, let's be real now. If you still believe that we hit Venezuela because of these drug boats, I mean, obviously not. Of course, natural resources, of course, the oil, rare earth minerals, and then also, if you not hear Trump's doctrine, yeah, we're looking for hemispherical dominance, and Venezuela's in our hemisphere, and it would be a very great place to have complete control of if we're looking to dominate our side of the world. Just makes sense. I mean, you can disagree with it, but this is the plan, and I'm just telling you what it is.
they come in through the southern border, and something's going to have to be done with Mexico.
Why did you decide to do this morning?
Are you talking about calling you people or the show?
No, taking
because
out.
I'm not sure which is worse. If you want to know the truth, I'm calling you. I haven't spoken to anybody else because Charlie Hurd has been a great friend of mine for a long time. He was with me when it was not fashionable, and those are the people I like. He was with me, Charlie, when it was not at all fashionable. So that's the reason I'm doing this. And your show is great. You're doing a great job. What a good team.
But I meant, why did you make the decision to take out Maduro this morning? And what was Maduro doing when our guys...
Most likely he got the right intel that he's vulnerable. It's like not really a now or never situation, but it's like, oh, this is the best opportunity to get him. We know where he's at. We just go in, we strike the targets, we'll grab him. Easy. And it went off without a cinch, and we got everything we wanted out of it. And like I said, during the strikes, everybody's freaking out, going like, oh, here goes Trump trying to throw us into war with Venezuela. This is war with Venezuela. When no, really, it was a tactical operation that we hit Venezuela with. And we'll see if Trump needed congressional approval for it. We'll see. We'll see what Congress does. It does look like they might just sit the F down because it went off without, a sitch, and it's a success. So who knows if they really want to hang Trump up over a success.
Came in on him.
So we were going to do this 4 days ago, but the weather was not perfect. The weather has to be perfect, and we had just the perfect weather. We had, very good. A little bit few more clouds than we thought, but it was good.
Oh, what's going on, Monty? He says, Link. Sure. Shoot, this is gonna be a quick one. I said I was gonna do this one real quick, but why not? I got you, big dog.
We waited 4 days. We were going to do this 4 days ago. 3 days ago, 2 days ago. And then all of a sudden it opened up and we said go. And I'll tell you, it was just amazing. And what was he doing? He was in a very highly guarded, like a fortress, actually. He was in a fortress. That we had nobody killed was amazing. I think we had nobody killed, I have to say, because a couple of guys were hit, but they came back and they're supposed to be in pretty good shape. But that we had nobody killed, that we lost no aircraft, everything came back. We got it all back. One of them was hit pretty hard, but a helicopter, but we got it back. But it just was the right time to do it. We had to do it because it's a war. We're losing 300,000 people a year. We don't lose that much in a war, okay, if you look. And we had to do it. But he was in a...
Oh, guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen, like the video, guys. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen.
Get into that. We were prepared. We had, massive blowtorches and everything else that you need to get through that steel, but we didn't need it. He didn't make it to that area of the house.
Mr. President, your war on narcoterrorism from our southern border and beyond clearly will save American lives. Moving forward for Venezuela, what do you think is next for the Venezuelan people now that you have removed Maduro so that he can face American justice?
Well, we're making that decision now. We can't take a chance on letting somebody else run and just take over where he left or left off. So we're making that decision now. We'll be involved in it very much. And we want to do liberty for the people. We want to, have a great relationship. I think the people of Venezuela are very, very happy because they love the United States. They were run by essentially a dictatorship or worse. It couldn't have been worse. It was It was a terrible thing that was taking place in Venezuela. But look, tremendous numbers of people were being killed through drugs. And what they did to our country in sending prisoners and people from mental institutions and drug lords and everything, they sent them by the hundreds of thousands of people into our country. And that is just unforgivable. That's why, he wanted to negotiate at the end, and I didn't want to negotiate. I said, nope, we got to do it. He was trying to negotiate at the end. You probably saw that. And trying hard to make a deal. And I said, this could have been a very foolish thing if it didn't work out. But I said, nope, we can't do it. What he did with drugs is bad. What he did with a lot of other things is bad. But what he did was sending hundreds of thousands of Tren de Aragua and drug dealers. And they emptied out their jails into our country.
Appreciate that. So pretty much what I was saying is that, yeah, when it comes to fentanyl, it's actually Mexico who's running all the fentanyl up through the United States. Venezuela is very low at the list when it comes to that. But let's not sit here and play stupid like Venezuela has no strategic value to the cartel. I mean, they can still run cocaine, marijuana, heroin, and of course, human beings as well. Like I said, human smuggling and human trafficking is still a profitable business, sadly.
They emptied out, if you think about it, they emptied out all of their mental institutions into our country. What he did there, and every other thing, is unforgivable.
Mr. President, you're already getting reaction from members of Congress on both sides. One Democrat, Jim McGovern, is saying that you did not get authorization from Congress. And he says Trump just launched an unjustified illegal strike on Venezuela. Wanted to get your reaction.
I knew it. Come on now. We all called this. We all knew they were going to try to say, oh, is it a legal strike? Even though it was successful and nobody got hurt, it's illegal because, yes, in a way, he should have addressed Congress, especially since it is an act of war. So, admittedly, yeah, he probably should have talked to Congress about that one. But, I mean, if they'd have dragged his feet with Congress, the operation wouldn't have been so successful. So, pros and cons, guys, pros and cons.
To that.
Well, look, these are weak, stupid people, and they're trying to save themselves from almost destroying our country. If I didn't get elected, our country would not. I don't even think we'd have a country right now. We were heading down the path of destruction. We had inflation. We had high prices. They're the ones that caused high prices, not us. We're bringing the prices way down. We have oil now.
Monty, check your DMs. I sent it to there. And shout out to my man Jay's like, S.E.T needs subtitles. Damn mute button. I'm telling you, I wish subtitles would just pop up when the mute button goes off. Like, man.
Many places $1.99 a gallon. And when you do oil, everything follows, but everything is following. But no, they would have destroyed our country if we didn't get elected. If Kamala or a Joe type got elected, if that group got elected. But if Kamala got elected, I don't think at this point we would even have a country. We were laughed at all over the world. The money was flowing out.
I mean, yeah, that's true. We'd have still had an open border. We wouldn't have had no tariffs. Jobs would have been continuously leaving the United States. Kamala would have raised taxes across the board. Oh, and she'd have got into war with Russia. So, yeah, I'm actually pretty happy it isn't Kamala Harris. Trump ain't perfect, but it's way better than Kamala.
Everybody was leaving the
like let's say it like this. Trump was like, all right, possibly things could go wrong. Kamala, definitely things are going to go wrong. So, as the libs like to say, I had to vote between the greater evils. Okay.
Companies were leaving. The people were leaving. The wealth was leaving. We have $18 trillion coming back into our country, the biggest number in the history of the world. The second biggest number was $3 trillion. We're at $18 trillion, and it's building factories and plants. It's doing things that no country has ever seen before. But as far as last night is concerned, it was really genius. What they did is genius. And the Democrats, maybe they'll take a shot. They'll take a shot. Oh, all they do is complain. They don't talk about, they should say, you know what? We did a great job. We're stopping drugs from coming into this country. And nobody's been able to do it until we came along. But they should say, great job. They shouldn't say, oh, gee, maybe it's not constitutional.
All right, here it does look like it's about to be starting soon. And when this starts, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the co-host, Monty. Just let you know, Monty, I see you, my brother. I see you. But I'm going to go ahead and let you in as soon as the press conference starts. Me and you going to go ahead and get the reaction to this one.
The same old stuff that we've been hearing for years and years and years. They did an incredible job. These men and women that went out there last night, the courage they had, going into an area where, all the lights were turned off. We turned off almost all of the lights in Caracas. I mean, this thing was so organized. And they go into a dark space with machine guns facing them all over the place. And then you hear from a guy that I'd never even heard of him. But you hear from some congressman saying, oh, this is so terrible. We're saving lives. And by the way, the boats, every boat, because that's sort of related to this, every boat that we hit saves 25,000 lives.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get any hosannas or thanks from certain Democrats in Congress, that's for sure. But one of the things, you've already obviously cracked down on these drug boats. You've also cracked down on these illegal oil shipments coming out of Venezuela. The country.
And so far, we've seized about 2 to 3 of these oil tankers. And according to Trump, man, look, we stole it and we're using it. So I'll be real with you. I better see low gas prices. I mean, dog, we stole 2 oil tankers, 2 to 3. I mean, we got an extra supply. I should see lower gas prices during the next couple of months, but we'll see how that translates out. We'll see how it's taking these oil tankers translate into the economy. Hopefully, it's positive. I mean, honestly, hopefully, us putting Venezuela under our boot is a positive result. But he said the same thing as Bin Laden minus the double tap. Yeah, most definitely. And the whooping his ass part. We didn't just hold Maduro down and start whooping his ass like we did Bin Laden.
That negotiate with Venezuela for those that illegal oil are already starting to suffer. What do you see as the future of Venezuela's oil industry?
Well, I see that we're going to be very strongly involved in it. That's all. I mean, what can I say? We have the greatest oil companies in the world, the biggest, the greatest, and we're going to be very much involved in it. We can't do something like this, and we're prepared. We were prepared to do a second wave. We were all set, and this was so lethal, this was so powerful that we didn't have to, but we're prepared. We're out there with an armada like nobody's ever seen before, and we're prepared, and frankly, probably thought we were going to have to do it. But we were prepared for a second wave going in.
Mr. President, sorry, Nicole, can I just follow up on one thing? And that was when part of Vice President Vance's tweet about an hour ago said that you offered several off-ramps to Maduro that he didn't take. What did those off-ramps look like?
Well, basically, I said you have to give up. You have to surrender. And he was close, but in the end, I really didn't. We had to do something that was really much more surgical, much more powerful. This was much more powerful than anything.
It is important to, it is important to actually say that, well, they're actually pretty important to us in the Western Hemisphere. And I'm talking about Venezuela. Of course, the oil potential, natural resources, and all that good stuff, all the stuff their wonderful country provides was being tapped into by, all of our adversaries, and the worst of them, China, Iran, Russia, the worst of them. And they were benefiting off of Venezuela. So pretty much they had, I would say, intelligent links, economic links in our side of the hemisphere. And now that we're pretty much taking over, I'm gonna be honest, since we're going to be pretty much taking over Venezuela with the puppet president that we're about to put in, the nice lady, we're about to get everything we want out of them and also remove all the Chinese influence out of China, stop these guys from giving oil to Iran and Russia, and that should help us out in the end. I mean, like I said, it's all about hemispherical dominance.
Could have done it. This is amazing, and we learned a lot going into. We learned a lot of things, but this was a very important symbol. And I had discussions. I actually spoke to him myself, but I said, you have to give up. You have to surrender.
When did you
And
speak to him?
He was not willing. A week ago. A couple of times, but a week ago.
Mr. President, this is clearly a signature moment for your administration, this military strike, the capture of Maduro.
We've had a lot of signature moments, if you really think
It
about it.
certainly was. Let's add it to the list, one of the signature moments. But what do you say to the people waking up to this news this morning who are concerned that these actions may result in prolonged involvement of U.S. military in Venezuela?
Well, first of all, I say that what we're doing is saving lives because the drug trafficking is so bad. It's gotten so out of control. And, when you think 97% of the drugs coming in by sea, by ocean, by waterway, 97% down. It's almost nothing left. You don't see ships. You don't see anybody. You see very few ships coming in loaded up with, hundreds of bags of fentanyl, cocaine, and everything else you can imagine. It's virtually stopped. And we'll stop it on land. And this was one of the things that we did to stop it on land. We had to do this. In order to stop it on land, this was a part of it. There are other parts and there are other areas, frankly. But what they did is really amazing. And I think it sends a signal. We're not going to be pushed around as a country anymore by these countries where we want to be politically correct all the time. They're killing our people. If we had a war, if you lost 300,000 people, in the Civil War, we lost 600,000 people. We lose 300,000 people a year to drugs. And we're not going to allow it anymore with any country.
You said that you were prepared for a second wave, and I assume that you still are. But what does the future look like for the Maduro loyalists who are still in Caracas and I assume have not yet fled or been removed?
Well, if they stay loyal, the future is really bad. It's really bad for them. If they convert, there's a conversion factor. I would say most of them have converted. He's had very little loyalty. In fact, I noticed that today that some people are marching on the street waving flags, and they're very...
I mean, you can literally hear people cheering in the streets. I mean, a husband woke his wife up and was like, hey, no, yo, Trump got Maduro, and they over here crying over it. Because, yes, the people of Venezuela did not like Maduro. Now, not saying that there weren't some people who liked him. There were some. Remember, when that election went down, he only got about 20% of the votes. So that 20% was pretty much keeping him in power and pretty much causing tyranny or running tyranny on the people of Venezuela. Now that he's gone, and, well, the military's basically been dismantled, or at least a couple of the top officials have been taken out or captured. Well, guess what? Whoa. Oh, scared me for a second. Thought my internet went out. But nope, just rebooted. All right. But yeah.
In support. They have American flags being waved on the streets. So, I mean, I think he's got very little support. Look, he was a dictator that the people hated. So I don't see a lot of that. I don't think we're going to see a lot of that.
Well, will you, Mr. President, throw your support behind opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who, as you recall,
Maria Machado
won the Nobel Peace Prize and then in turn dedicated it to you for your efforts in pressuring Maduro. Are you going to fully support her to take over to run the country?
Well, we're going to have to look at it. Right now, they have a vice president.
They have a vice president that stepped up and took the place of Maduro. Now, I'm not sure whose side she's on. Hopefully, Trump is going to clarify. I'm not sure if she's just stepping into Maduro because he's captured and, she's the vice president, or instead of Maria, this girl is going to be the next girl up, or this person's going to be the president that we kind of, run Venezuela through. And instead of Maria, we're just going to go with the vice president, who is, also a woman.
Take over to run the country.
Well, we're going to have to look at it. Right now, they have a vice president, as you know. I mean, I don't know about what kind of an election that was, but, the election of Maduro was a disgrace, just like my election was a disgrace. 2020 was a disgrace, and, a real disgrace. Now, 2024 was too big to rig. But what he did was, I mean, his was open. I would say, frankly, you want to know the truth? I think Charlie would testify this. It wasn't a hell of a lot worse than what they did to us in 2020. It was our election was a disgrace in 2020, and everyone knows it. And now it's come out, and it's come out even in the legal form. But it was disgraceful. He had an election that was a rigged election, and the people have no love for him. That's for sure. He had very little loyalty, if any loyalty.
Yeah, very little.
He was a dictator who was a tough cookie, and he ran it tough, and the people can't believe they got so lucky.
Mr. President, what do you make of the fact that just hours before the airstrike,
and I mean, it's kind of funny because before the attack, well, they were kind of talking big. They're like, oh, we're ready. We got other people that might join in. Like, people were talking that good-ish. And then for Trump just to roll through, strike him, steal Maduro as if it was taking candy from a baby. Like, literally, it was just that easy for us. So everybody was pretty much hyping up Venezuela to damn near be like a second Vietnam. And it just turned into like an in and out situation. Like, all right, we went in, we got it, we went out. There you go. Happy. Now everybody goes home happy. I mean, well, I'm be real with you. I couldn't predict it being that easy. I could predict us winning. Of course, it's only Venezuela, but us being able to go in there and snatch up the leader that quick, making the government fall that quick, thoroughly impressed. Shout out. I mean, God bless the USA on that note.
A Chinese delegation meeting with Nicolas Maduro, and we have yet to hear from China any sort of comment on the attacks.
I know nothing about that, but I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and there's not going to be a problem. And they're going to get oil. We're going to allow people to have oil. But we can't take a chance after having done this incredible thing last night of letting somebody else take over, where we have to do it again. We can do it again, too. Nobody can stop.
Yo, shout out Jed. He's like, Trump stole him in his sleep. Like, literally. It was just like they made it look so easy. But like, look, like I said, you know, the only backfire that's going on here for Trump is, well, Congress is upset. They're saying it's an unlawful strike. And we all knew that Congress was going to do this. Even I said that, you know, if he's going to strike on land, he might want to, you know, get approved by Congress, you know, get Congress okay on that. And obviously he did it because the congressmen are freaking out. But let's be honest, he did do this pretty damn easy. And guys, it's not a war. It's a tactical strike. And extraction as well. Strike with an extraction. Not a war.
That has the capability.
And trust me, I disagree with the strikes like you guys did. But I mean, since it worked out, I mean, I can't really be mad. I thought the strikes were going to lead us into a whole drawn out conflict with Venezuela. But no, the strike just turned into a quick grab and go.
That we have. You know, when I watched that war in Russia,
what am I supposed to be mad?
And everybody dying, and it's like it's primitive. It's primitive. It's horrible. Could you
tell us, Mr. President, a little bit more? Because you're talking about the precision of this operation and the brave men and women. Was this Delta Force guys? Were this Navy SEALs? Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, they're the most highly trained soldiers in the world. There's nobody that has their talent, because it's talent. It's not just bravery. It's bravery. You have to have the bravery, but it's talent. Nobody has talent like this, and nobody has equipment like we have. I mean, everything was pinpoint. They had everything. They practiced. They actually built a house which was identical to the one they went into, with all the safes and all the steel all over the place, and, you know, at the top of stairways and rooms.
It was Delta Force, sir?
I don't want to say, but I will say this. I'm having a news conference in just a little while, so therefore I'm going to have to get off this line pretty soon, but I'm having a news conference at 11, and we're going to be talking about it. And I will say that I'm very proud to be an American.
As are we, Mr. President. Will we be hearing from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth about what went into?
Like I said, I may have disagreed with the strike. When you pull off an operation like that, I mean, you could only be impressed. I'll be quite honest with you. And if you heard me last show, I was vehemently disagreeing with this. I did not like it. But like I said, when the results turned out to be what they are, I mean, can I really be mad? Of course not. like I said, it's like, Trump damn near takes you on a wild ride on the highway, man, and you just sit, and then once you finally get to the destination, you're shaking the back of the seat, but you got to the destination.
The planning and the execution of this incredible operation?
Yes, and General Kane and some other people, they'll be telling you things that we can't tell you. We're not going to say everything because we have things that nobody even knows about. Nobody has even a clue about. And we don't want to talk about that, and there's no reason to, but you'll be seeing a lot of things. So we're going to have a pretty open news conference, and we have to make sure that Venezuela doesn't go bad again. It went bad. It was a great country 20 years ago, and now it's horrible. Remember, I used to say that if they get elected, the other side, the people that we're talking about, if they get elected in our country, it will be Venezuela on steroids. Do you remember that? I used to say that all the time, Charlie, right?
Indeed.
We would have been Venezuela on steroids, meaning we would have been a bigger version of Venezuela. But the end result, we would have been a failed nation. Had they gotten elected, we would have been a failed nation. So I'll get ready for a news conference.
Real quickly before we let you go, though, can you tell us where Maduro and his wife are right this second?
Well, they'll be heading to New York. They were indicted in New York, and also.
So were they taken to a ship first, and then?
Yes, to Iwo Jima. They were on a ship, but they'll be heading into New York. The helicopters took them out, and they went by helicopter in a nice flight. I'm sure they loved it. But they've killed a lot of people. Remember that they killed a lot of people, and
a lot of Americans.
Even people in their own country. They killed a lot of people to maintain power. He's a very vicious person.
Well, President Trump, I'm incredibly grateful to you for coming on this morning. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time. We know that you've got a lot on your plate these days, but we're very appreciative, and we look forward to your press conference at 11.
Well, remember one thing: our country now, it's not because of this, but long before this, almost from the time I took
11:35. He still ain't on.
So fast. Our country is hotter than it's ever been before. And we had a dead country a year and a half ago. We had a dead country. This country was dead with Biden and with that group of people. And if we had that group extended through Kamala, this country would have been dead. But we had a dead country.
She was the border czar.
Well, now look at the border. We have nobody coming in through the border anymore. Look at that. So, that's right. The border czar. She was our border czar. She would have been worse as a president than she was as a border czar.
The border would have still been open.
Which is pretty bad. Have a good time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. I mean, I didn't expect that, but I didn't expect the president to come on. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into Al Jazeera and let's see what they're saying about it. Let's get into global news. Some of the footage from Venezuela.
Cici de Flavis is a journalist. She joins us from Caracas. Cici, you've been with us for hours now, processing not just the initial round of explosions, then this shocking event that the US has captured Maduro. We were talking earlier about how people in Venezuela felt about Maduro. Just another question on that. Certainly, a lot of people that I've been kind of seeing and speaking to from Venezuela and outside of Venezuela, one person said to me a very interesting thing. They said, actually, it might be better the devil that you know. That we knew what Maduro was about and we knew how to deal with him. What comes next is so unknown that it's very scary. Do you share that thought?
Particularly on a personal level, I don't share it because I think what we know so far is that the Venezuelan people have been suffering for years. We've been forced to exile. We've been jailed, persecuted, killed if we speak against the government.
I mean, yeah, just for speaking out against the Maduro regime, a lot of people had to leave. I mean, bro, just off how bad the economy is, people had to leave, and it caused mass migration out of his country. And it caused a lot of problems for the neighboring countries all around. Really America. I mean, that's why we got a lot of Venezuelans in, well, like places like Florida, New Mexico, Arizona, a lot of places. Really, they're sprinkled all throughout America.
We know that people don't have access to basic health care. So even though it is true to a certain terms that we already know what we're getting, it was not good. It was not safe. It was not basic humanitarian needs being met. So although I do understand the sentiment of like, well, we already know what we get. We already know how to manage with this government. We already know how to like pay for things and whatnot. It is still not good. And I think that mentality is from people who haven't really left Venezuela. So they just kind of lingered in this place of complacement, if I could call it that. And they just kind of stay like, okay, if I don't have power for a few hours or a few days, that's okay. If I don't have water, that's okay. If I cannot access the medicine for my grandma to be okay, then that's fine. That's just the way it is. But they don't understand that their basic needs were not being met. And like, it doesn't have to be that complicated to kickstart your own business.
Early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer, all perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to expertise that we have. And it was deadly. But captured along with his wife, Celia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. It's Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let Monty get first comment on this. My man, how you doing?
All right, I've been itching at the bit to say what he just said. This is not an act of war. I went back and I watched the segment with Sid. This is not an act of war. And what everybody on the panel forgot to mention, Maduro has an arrest warrant signed by a judge in the Southern District of New York. You wouldn't go and say that someone on the streets being arrested or their house being raided was an act of war. So why would we call this an act of war? This was an arrest warrant that had a $50 million reward, mind you.
I mean, the only reason they say it's an act of war off the the blockade or invasion of territory.
It's not an invasion. That no one's occupying. An invasion requires an occupying force. We didn't occupy. We left.
Whoa! That's occupying. Occupying invasion is a little bit different.
In order to invade, you have to have intent to occupy. You can't have one without the other. Yes, absolutely. That's the definition of invasion. Moving military forces into an area
you
with
can't invade the land, take something, and leave. You have to invade the land, and it only counts an invasion unless you just sit there and you occupy something.
Absolutely. For the definitions of maritime law and the definitions of what an invasion is. Now there's different the word invasion has different meanings in different contexts, but in this context, an invasion requires an occupying force to stay there. They didn't stay there. They're conducting strikes and they're leaving. This is not an act of war. This is no different than the sheriff's department kicking your door in. Maduro just happens to have machine guns, rocket launchers, and a military at his disposal, and we went and arrested him. He has Sid was talking about how he was doing this unilaterally. No, the Justice Department and the court systems have issued a warrant for his arrest, and him, as the commander in chief, have upheld the law that he violated. So Sid was going on and on and on and going with gaming, and he was talking about how you're not he's not upholding the law. This guy was indicted on crimes. He was captured alive, mind you.
Mm-hmm. All right, but let's go ahead and get right back to it.
Extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to
I love people. They're so
Jimmy
stupid.
Carter days, they were different days. We're a respected country again.
Someone in the chat said
maybe
the
like never
ICC
before.
has a arrest.
These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea, just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in what's called a ready position, but they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We had many helicopters, many planes, many people involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment was lost, not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far, with capabilities and skills.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. We definitely proved that today. I mean, now I'll be real with you. I do disagree with Monty on the premise of the whole invasion. I do believe that this was an invasion that went extremely well. We did a strike on them that went extremely well. But I mean, come on now. Let's be real now. This is an invasion, basically an act of war.
What military force is there right now?
Well, right now, remember, bro, it's an incident of invading a country or region with armed forces. You don't have to occupy for an invasion.
So what is it? If you just walk in with guns, what is that?
It would be pretty much an invasion. If somebody walked in and gun into your house, they'd be invading your house, right? But do they have to sit there and sit in your couch and say, I'm not leaving? No, they could sit there and then you still call that and leave, and then you still call that a house invasion.
Yes, that's a home invasion. We're not talking about a home invasion. Like I said, that word has different context in different contexts. An invasion, for the purposes of defining what a war is and for defining maritime law, an invasion requires an occupying force or the threat of such. So, like, for example, we're being invaded at the southern border. People are coming in and not leaving.
Now, I'm gonna have to disagree, because it's an unwelcome intrusion into another's domain, or like I said, an instant of an invading a country or region with an armed force. That's exactly what we did. And like I said, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying that I completely disagree, but this is exactly what we did.
Does the police department have a right, when they have a warrant for your arrest, to come into your home? Is that considered a home invasion, or is that considered an arrest?
I mean, it's unwelcome. So yes, the police invaded my house to get me lawfully,
but they didn't
still
legally
invaded my house to me because it was an unwanted welcome or an unwanted intrusion.
There's a difference between a colloquialism and a legal term. This meets the legal term of an arrest. The police department are not. Yes, in my opinion, they would be invading my space. Absolutely, that is true. But that is a perception, not a legal term.
But the legal term right here that we're using is an invasion with armed forces, or an intrusion in somebody's country with armed forces, which we did.
So let's move past that then. They have an arrest warrant.
That's the military definition of what we did.
They have a legal arrest warrant signed by a judge to do so.
Bro, I'm be honest, that's still an act of war. You still have to get approved by Congress.
So is it an act of war every time a SWAT team kicks someone's door
No,
down?
that's different, Monty. We're talking about countries, though. You're trying to water it down to SWAT teams and stuff. We're talking about a country, an act of war on a country, which is invading it, going past his border with armed forces, which we did. Like, it is what it is.
I mean, you can call it whatever you want to call it. The legal what this is going to be framed as, and what this is there is somebody on the FBI's most wanted list. Remember that. He's
True.
on he's the number one person for law enforcement, because they did this with law enforcement as well as the military. They needed the military to execute the warrant because he's such a threat. But he was on the FBI's most wanted, the highest bounty ever given for any single person above Osama bin Laden, which we did the same thing to Osama bin Laden, and no one was calling that an act of war. This is what it is. It's an arrest. Now, I understand I'm watering it down, but that's what it boils down to. That's what it is, because he is wanted in the Southern District of New York for narco terrorism, possession of machine guns, destructive devices. Like there's a warrant out for him, signed by a judge.
No, you're right. That is true. But basically, you're saying, we invaded Venezuela to arrest Maduro, which is fine.
Yeah, okay, I'll concede that, but that is I'm more so arguing against Sid's point that Trump did it unlawfully.
Okay, well then,
and it's completely lawful.
Yeah, I mean, you could call it a tactical operation, and there you go.
Yeah, it's not an act of war, because an act of war, remember you said earlier, is designed to provoke a response or subdue a people. They don't want the response that they want is fucking a duly elected leader in Venezuela. That's not, no one on the world stage is going to be arguing against that except for liberals.
Yeah, true. And socialists.
And socialists that like Maduro, because that's socialism, and that's great.
Oh man, no, trust me, you got a whole lot of communists and socialists on X going like, he's a hero, free Maduro. I'm like, you guys are sick.
Maduro. I mean, come on. Anybody else? If you had done the same things Maduro did, the FBI would come and get you too.
I would hope so.
And this goes back before he was even president. He was doing these things. He got indicted in 2020, and charged, and then all that stuff. That was actually Biden that did all that stuff. He was indicted in 2020, but the rewards kept getting bigger and stuff under Biden, and they got to their biggest point in 2024, I think it was, or 2025, where it went to $50 million.
But all right, let's get back to it though. Let's not go too far off on Biden.
Our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have, and you see that even if you just look at the boats. We've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%. And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela.
All right.
We're going to run the
Mexico,
country until
okay.
such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with.
Did we just gain a territory?
Somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do it, as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place.
So
what Trump is saying, ours now.
No, what Trump is saying is what he said earlier. We have domain over this hemisphere. This is our area. Basically, all of the entire Western Hemisphere might as well just be the United States, because we have jurisdiction to go and get anybody we want and take them out of power if we feel that they're corrupt.
And this man literally just said in front of the world, like, yeah, we're going to be running it in basically until we put somebody in that we trust, aka we control. Like, well, way to say the quiet part out loud, Trump.
Not necessarily, because you think if you have a governor, like, let's just imagine because it takes a stretch to get there. But if you have the governor of, say, Minnesota that's corrupt and committing fraud and all that fun stuff, the FBI would do the same thing. The FBI would go and arrest him and bring him up on federal corruption charges. And the U.S. government would oversee a transition of power for the new governor to take power. He's basically declaring that all of North and South America are ours to control.
Man, basically, I think somebody said in the chat last night, like, well, so Venezuela, 51st state. I mean, man, it's looking like
state. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't be
Me
opposed
neither.
if we took over Mexico, if we took over all of these hotbeds and ran them the way they were supposed to be run. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all.
I mean, shoot. I mean, we won't need a passport just to go to Mexico anymore. Or
No.
all of Latin America. I mean, hey, I like it. I like the idea. I know some people in the chat are freaking out, going like the imperialist mindset. But guys, just hear us out. It could all be such a beautiful thing.
We could have beachfront property in Cancun.
I mean, come on now.
As everyone knows, the oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust for a long period of time. They were pumping almost nothing by comparison to what they could have been pumping and what could have taken place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually.
Yeah.
This was pinpoint, but we have a much bigger wave that probably won't have to do. This partnership of Venezuela with the United States of America, a country that everybody wants to be involved with because of what we were able to do and accomplish, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And it will also make the many, many people from Venezuela that are living in the United States extremely happy. They suffered. They suffered. So much was taken from them. They're not going to suffer anymore. The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States. As alleged in the indictment,
Think about this. What happened when a recent president in recent American history went into a foreign country without their knowledge and assassinated a person on the FBI's most wanted list? He was celebrated and reelected for it.
True, but then wait, hold on now. Did he not get approval by Congress though?
No, he had war powers approval, which if you start looking into that, he used the war powers where you can operate within 30 days or 90 days, and did it the exact same way. There was a legal arrest warrant for Osama bin Laden that we executed on. We didn't even need to be at war for that to happen.
I mean, you're right, but here's the thing, though. I knew that the liberals were going to do this. Is that look, you guys are going to forget the fact that, well, you guys have done things like this as well, and yes, you guys have had success also. So how come when Trump does and he has success, instead of just being happy that this didn't get dragged out into a longer conflict, be happy that this went off with the
we went into an allied country without them knowing and invaded their airspace. That's not an act of war.
I mean, well, we closed. Yeah,
we didn't declare war on Pakistan. No, we fucking flew in there and went and got his ass. And everybody, Bin Laden is dead and GM was alive, was the campaign slogan in 2012. Remember that?
Yeah. All right, let's keep it going.
Personally oversaw the vicious cartel known as Cartel de las Solas, which flooded our nation with lethal poison responsible for the deaths of countless Americans, The many, many Americans, hundreds of thousands over the years of Americans died because of him. Maduro and his wife will soon face the full might of American justice and stand trial on American soil. Right now, they're on a ship. They'll be heading to ultimately New York, and then a decision will be made, I assume, between New York and Miami or Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place. For many years after his term as president of Venezuela expired, Maduro remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror, and subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region. And you all saw it. In addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over, in particular, the United States, Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang, Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities nationwide. And he did indeed. They were in Colorado. They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they call police. They were brutal, but they're not so brutal now.
I mean, yeah, classic cartel tactics. Intimidate the hell out of you, and if that don't work, I mean, we're gonna kill you. But shout out to my man Maine. He says USA, 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 man.
So I just want to say to all the nincompoops in the chat that responded to what I said. Yes, I am aware that there was a global war on terrorism. I have the National Defense Service ribbon. Thank you very much. I know we were at war. My statement was we didn't need to be at war with terrorism. That he was captured, Osama bin Laden was captured because he had an arrest warrant and was the FBI's most wanted.
Right.
And I just have to congratulate our military, Pete, and everybody, and our National Guard, because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly, and now we have no crime in Washington, D.C. We haven't had a killing. We had the terrorist attack a few weeks ago. A little bit of a different kind of a threat, but we haven't had a killing in a long period of time, 6-7 months. We used to have on average 2 a week in Washington, our capital. We don't have that anymore. The restaurants are opening. Everyone's happy. They're going, they're walking their daughters, they're walking their children, their wives. They walk to restaurants. Restaurants are opening all over Washington, D.C. So I want to thank the National Guard. I want to thank our military. And I want to thank law enforcement. It's been amazing. And they should do it with more cities. We're doing it, as you know, and we're doing it in Memphis, Tennessee right now, and crime is down. We've just sort of started a few weeks ago, but crime is down now 77%. And the governor of Louisiana called, great person, and he wanted us to help him, as you know, in a certain very nice part of Louisiana. And we have done that. And it was a rough section, and we have crime down. I understand it's down to almost nothing already after 2.5 weeks. New Orleans, it's down to almost nothing. And we've only been there for 2.5 weeks. Can't imagine why governors wouldn't want us to help. We also helped, as you know, in Chicago, and crime went down a little bit there. We did a very small help because we had no working ability with the governor. The governor was a disaster, and the mayor was a disaster. But it knocked down crime. But we're pulling out of there when they need us. We'll know. You'll know. You'll be writing about it. And likewise, Los Angeles, where we saved Los Angeles early on, where the head of the police department made a statement that if the federal government didn't come in, we would have lost Los Angeles. That's long after the fires. That's when they had the riots in Los Angeles. We did a great job. Got no credit for it whatsoever.
And shout out to Seabass Soroka. He says, thank you, Trump. Finally free. You morons that are against this have no clue the condition Venezuela was in. Dad is America. Mom is Venezuela. All right, and my man's happy. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, hey, bro. It sounds like you were living in it or you have some experience in it. So I'm glad that you're happy. Because trust me, I'm happy for the people too. Then one of the reasons why I was against this strike in the first place, because I thought that the people or the citizens might get dragged into it. The fact that they was able to do this with, which seems like no civilian casualties and no casualties on our side, you can't be nothing but thoroughly impressed. And if you hate, and then I mean, let's be real, bro. You hate the man if he cured cancer. You'd hate the man if he cured your mom of cancer. So there's nothing he can do that you wouldn't hate.
Yeah, like I said, we have a historical precedent to look at, and it is how we behave. Trump is not declaring a war. Trump did not declare war on Venezuela. It literally says Congress has the power to declare war. Trump did not declare war. So this whole back and forth on, is this an act of war or is it this? It's really a moot point. Trump didn't say we're going to war. He said, I'm just going to go kill him. And he was merciful and captured him instead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it doesn't matter. We don't need the credit. But we'll be pulling out when they need us to call, or we'll go back if we have to. We'll go back. But we did a great job in various cities. But the place that we're very proud of is Washington, D.C., because it's our nation's capital. We took it from being a crime-ridden mess to being one of the safest cities in the country. But the gangs that they sent raped, tortured, and murdered American women and children. They were in all of the cities I mentioned, Tren de Aragua. And they were sent by Maduro to terrorize our people, and now Maduro will never again be able to threaten an American citizen.
I mean, yeah, he's cooked. I mean, he's in our custody, and that man going to jail forever. But shout out to my man Maine. He says Trump Team 6. Shout out.
Oh no! It's still Team 6. Trump doesn't get credit.
Team 6.
Trump doesn't get credit for shooting him like Obama tried to do.
I'm done. Well, you're right. He didn't kill him. He just captured him and just, whisked him away on a boat. And now he's heading towards, New York to face trial. Yeah, he's
done. Done. Can we have a Law and Order Maduro edition?
I'm weak. Why not? We could go ahead and follow the case on Maduro.
Oh, absolutely.
See everything that they bring up and all that good stuff.
Those are going to be some really, really good live streams. Oh, man, I can't wait.
I mean, for all you know, they might even make some deep state connections. We might make some deep state
Israel's involved.
Bro. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Will no longer be threats. For years, I've highlighted the stories of those innocent Americans whose lives were so heartlessly robbed by this Venezuelan terrorist organization. Really one of the worst. One of the worst. They say the worst. Americans like 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungari from Houston. Beautiful Jocelyn Nungari. What happened to her? They, as you know, they kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered by Tren de Aragua animals. They murdered Jocelyn and left her dead under the bridge. There was a bridge that will never be the same to so many people after seeing what happened. As I've said many times, the Maduro regime emptied out their prisons, sent their worst and most violent monsters into the United States to steal American lives. And they came from mental institutions and insane asylums. They came from prisons and jails. The reason I say both, they sound similar. Actually, prisons, a little bit more hostile, a little bit tougher. A mental institution isn't as tough as an insane asylum, but we got them both. They sent from their mental institutions. They sent from their jails, prisons. They were drug dealers. They were drug kingpins. They sent everybody bad into the...
And shout out to Boss Roka coming in again. He says, both will benefit economically once we have a great relationship with the new government. Gas price for the U.S. will drop once a proper deal is in place. True. I mean, bro, I mean, look, once you look up all the natural resources you guys got, and especially those rare earth minerals, and of course the oil, I mean, this is going to be a very beneficial relationship for both countries. You guys are going to probably have a construction and economic boom. We're probably going to start doing rare earth refinery over there in Venezuela. Well, not too much. We don't want to destroy y'all environment,
You know
but
what?
it's looking like the
You,
plan.
you know what? Here's my proposition, right?
Mhm.
We're gonna let the world be the world, right? And if we're gonna make an example out of Mr. Maduro, if you take advantage of that and try to become a dictator, we're going to come and we're going to arrest you, and then we're just going to run it. And you have one chance. If you fuck it up and you treat your people badly, we're just going to come run it. We're gonna colonize, since you want to call us colonizers. We're going to be imperialistic if you want to call us imperialistic. I bet the world would be a much better place.
Well, you got a point. Yeah, you might have a point there. I mean, hey, if we're running Mexico, at least we know the cartel's no longer in charge.
Exactly, man. I'm telling you. Go ahead and let some corruption happen, and be wide scale like it was here. And you're going to be gone. We're going to give you we gave him chance after chance. We issued an arrest warrant. He threatened us with military action. He lit his people up and said, "Look at all these people. We're handing out guns in the streets." Well, a lot of good that did you, didn't it?
Yep. I mean, you got toppled in less than an hour.
We
But all
have
right,
this thing called an air force and helicopters. We don't have to go through the streets.
literally, we just rode through there with Apache helicopters, and then we had the jets
So
hanging
no,
over for safety. But
United States, but no longer. And we have now a border where nobody gets through. In addition, Venezuela unilaterally seized and stole American oil, American assets, and American platforms, costing us billions and billions of dollars. They did this a while ago, but we never had a president that did anything about it. They took all of our property, it was our property. We built it. And we never had a president that decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away. We built Venezuela oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill, and the socialist regime stole it from us during those previous administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history of our country. Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, so we didn't do anything about it. I would have done something about it. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night.
yeah, I did hear some of the equipment took some damage, but like what was it? A plane? Well, one of the helicopters took some damage, but it didn't go down. We were still able to ride off with it. So they fall back. They definitely fall back, but they were just no match for us whatsoever. Tough.
Potentially in league with the cartels operating along our border. All of these actions were in gross violation of the core principles of American foreign policy, dating back more than 2 centuries, and not anymore. All the way back, it dated to the Monroe Doctrines. And the Monroe Doctrine is a big deal, but we've superseded it by a lot, by a real lot. They now call it the Donroe Document. I don't know. It's Monroe Doctrine. We sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again. Won't happen. So just in concluding, for decades, other administrations have neglected or even contributed to these growing security threats in the Western Hemisphere. Under the Trump administration, we are reasserting American power in a very powerful way in our home region. And our home region is very different than it was just a short while ago. The future will be, and we.
Yo, and shout out Jet. Trust me, I see it all over too. He says, I guess Dems are pro dictator now. I see free Maduro, save Maduro, and temper tantrums in the chat because he got arrested. I do hope this isn't the trial run for Iran, bro. Yeah, me too. Because trust me, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I
Fuck
say
what
this
they
with a little
think.
bit of
Fuck what they
assurance,
think.
huh?
Fuck what they think. I'm so sick and tired of trying to parse our words for people that would rather free Maduro and celebrate people getting executed in the streets. I love the way that the Democratic Party has really shown their face recently.
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't agree that we should go, striking Iran over their protests. Like, if we are going to hit them, please let it be for a good reason that benefits us or that's for our safety and not just to try to destabilize them so Israel can be the dominant force in the Middle East. Like, please. Like, we don't want to be used like that.
Everything we do, everything Trump is doing is for the betterment of the United States. So I honestly, the United States would be in a much better position if we did the same thing to them. But I'm not advocating that we just go and topple every country in the world. I was joking when I said we go play Command and Conquer.
I know. Oh, well, shoot. When on the Western Hemisphere, I can agree
On
with you on that one.
On the Western Hemisphere, I think we should take that kind of an approach. That way, we're not overextending our military, and it is for the betterment of this hemisphere to keep it stable. But it is what it is, and it's to be played out, but not. This is a good thing that he is gone. Like, let's not move past, and fly past and try to put the politics into it. It's not a good guy.
But here's the thing. I wonder if we're going to try the same thing with the Ayatollah. That's what I'm wondering.
I don't think we're going to have. I don't know. You know what? Every time I try to speculate on Trump, he proves me wrong in the best ways possible. So I can sit back and I can defend what he's doing because I know, where it's coming from and how it's being done. But I cannot predict what he's going to do next.
Yeah, at this point, like, we didn't even think he was gonna go, bro. We thought his eyes was focused on Iran because he was saying Iran.
Bro, he's all good about the misdirection.
Venezuela. It's like, bro, wait, what?
So I was watching the stream and I had a hard time finding when it actually happened because you guys were talking about Iran, and like all the headlines were Iran. And he does this. He does a misdirection. He starts, with the Iran bombing. It was, we're gonna talk a little bit more, and boom, in the middle of the night.
Like, man. And here's the thing. I was talking about what was it? Zoran Mandani, like, pretty much, what was it? Canceling the executive order that Eric Adams put in, like this little anti-Semitism law. So I was reacting to that. Then Sid hits me up going like, bro, look what happened in Venezuela. I look there and I'm going like, yo, they're striking it right now. They got footages of places being blown up, helicopters flying over, people walking out the door and seeing explosions. Craziness.
Do me a favor. Hop in the StreamYard and post that. It's the memo from the DOJ with his bounty and arrest on there. And then show the picture you sent me last night where he's all busted up and getting arrested.
I got you.
We had great dominance in my first term, and we have far greater dominance right now. Everyone's coming back to us. The future will be determined by the ability to protect commerce and territory and resources that are core to national security. These are core to our national security. Just like tariffs they've made our country rich, and they've made our national security stronger than ever before. But these are the iron laws that have always determined global power. And we're going to keep it that way. We will secure our borders. We will stop the terrorists. We will crash the cartels, and we will defend our citizens against all threats, foreign and domestic. Other presidents may have lacked the courage or whatever to defend America, but I will never allow terrorists and criminals to operate with impunity against the United States. This extremely successful operation should serve.
And, just to go ahead and show you what Monty was talking about, I'm going to go ahead and head over here to our guy, Nicolas Maduro's little profile. Narcos Reward Program, Wanted, Bureau of International Narcos and Law Enforcement Affairs, $50 million reward. And damn near wish I'd have got him up out of there. But, yep, here he is right here. I mean, tall guy, 6'3", nationality, Venezuelan, citizenship, Venezuelan, all that good stuff. But now, here is him when he got arrested. Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, look, man, when they come for you, bro, they come for you.
Look at them little E4 mafias over there. The E4 mafia went and got the work done.
Like, that gotta be tough. But all right, though. And then guess what? He's gone up out of there. All right.
This warning to anyone who would threaten American sovereignty or endanger American lives. Very importantly, the embargo on all Venezuelan oil remains in full effect. The American armada remains poised in position, and the United States retains all military options until United States demands have been fully met and fully satisfied.
Oh.
All political and military figures in Venezuela should understand what happened to Maduro can happen to them, and it will happen to them if they aren't just, fair, even.
I told you.
Maduro is finally gone in Venezuela. People are free. They're free again. A long time for them, but they're free. America is a safer nation this morning. It's a prouder nation this morning because it didn't allow this horrible person and this country that was doing very bad things to us. It didn't allow it to happen. And the Western Hemisphere is right now a much safer place to be. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank General Raisin Kane. He's a fantastic man. I've worked with a lot of generals. I worked with some I didn't like. I worked with some I didn't respect. I worked with some that just weren't good. But this guy is fantastic. I watched last night one of the most precise attacks on sovereignty. I mean, it was an attack for justice.
Careful. Don't be careful, Trump.
Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, who I'm going to ask to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Finally, a commander-in-chief the world respects and the American people deserve. And as the president said, words can barely capture the bravery and the power and the precision of this historic operation. A massive joint military and law enforcement raid flawlessly executed by the greatest Americans our country has to offer. American warriors are second to none, the best in the world and the best of our country. What all of us witnessed last night was sheer guts and grit, gallantry, and glory of the American warrior. I'm simply humbled by such men. And I tip my hat to our chairman, Dan Raisin Kane, and all those Americans who stood watch last night. Our warriors are the elite of America. And again, President Trump has your back. No other country on planet Earth, and it's not even close, could pull this kind of operation off. And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve, the most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime. The coordination, the stealth, the lethality, the precision, the very...
Well, correction, anywhere in the Western Hemisphere, I would like to say, and maybe some spots in the Middle East. But
anywhere, anytime. We could if we wanted to. We just don't want the consequences of doing it in Russia, Sid.
True. Yeah, I mean, anywhere, anytime, except for Russia and China.
And we can do it.
We would take them. It's just
we would take them, but it would not be without consequence. It would not just be a nice sleight of hand pictures on the news. It would be a war.
Yeah,
and we don't want war right now. We want peace.
Yeah. And let's be real, we get into it with them, that's a world war automatically.
By definition, yeah.
Justice all on full display in the middle of the night. Nicolas Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't. He effed around, and he found out. President Trump is deadly serious about stopping the flow of gangs and violence to our country.
I mean,
see, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
every time.
Deadly serious about stopping the flow of drugs and poison to our people. Deadly serious about getting back the oil that was stolen from us. And deadly serious about reestablishing American deterrence and dominance in the Western Hemisphere. This is about the safety, security, freedom, and prosperity of the American people. This is America first. This is peace through strength. And the United States War Department is proud to help deliver it. Welcome to 2026. And under President Trump, America is back. I'd like to welcome now our chairman, Chairman Raising Cane, to give a few more details about the operation, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, this is going to be spicy.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning. Last night, on the order of the President of the United States and in support of a request from the Department of Justice, as the President said, the United States military conducted an apprehension mission in Caracas, Venezuela, to bring to justice two indicted persons, Nicolas and Cecilia Maduro. This operation, known as Operation Absolute Resolve, was discreet, precise, and conducted during the darkest hours of January 2nd and was the culmination of months of planning and rehearsal, an operation that, frankly, only the United States military could undertake. What I'd like to do this morning is talk to you through some of the preparation and the details without compromising any of our tactics, techniques, and procedures. There is always a chance that we'll be tasked to do this type of mission again. Our interagency work began months ago and built on decades of experience of integrating complex air, ground, space, and maritime operations. While the past 2 decades have honed the skills of our special operations forces, this particular mission required every component of our joint force, with soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians working in unison with our intelligence.
Now, keyword apprehension, right? So, no, President Trump cannot directly apprehend a criminal overseas, as U.S. law enforcement lacks jurisdiction in foreign nations. Instead, the administration relies on international agreements, extraction treaties, and cooperation with foreign governments to arrest and return fugitives, though they can use U.S. military bases globally for detention in some individuals. The Trump administration focused heavily on, border security. Well, let's not read that part, but they're pretty much saying that, well, under the apprehension, if we were working with, I would say, inside forces in Venezuela, maybe a resistance force that is going to be the new president or that's going to be the new power. Like, let's say this. Let's say we were secretly working with the vice president. That's actually a pretty good reason to run an apprehension mission, because we're working with government entities.
Oh, you're right. And they would have to keep that a secret. So that's not going to be published, but we can speculate all day.
Yeah, that, or if you even working with a rebel group, we'd have to keep their name secret. Well, you know, because you never know. But yeah, we can also work with them, and that could be a clearance for an apprehension mission.
Because we never recognize. Remember, this is important. This all falls into context. Several nations, not just the United States, have refused to recognize Maduro as a legitimate power. So this is not a sovereignty issue, because they have Maduro himself has no sovereign power because he's not recognized by us. And he might be recognized by his military, but resistance, like you said, S.E.T, resistance forces, it's anybody's game when you don't recognize a country. That's why it's a really big deal if you don't recognize a country.
I mean, yeah, so he does have the legit power to secure extraction of drug cartel members and wanted illegal aliens. So if they're running with that as their argument, and I'm just going, as soon as you said apprehension, that just like I just lit a light bulb, but I'm like, yeah, that kind of sounds like what they're going to go off of.
That's what it is. That's what, like, under everything that's happened, that's what it is. That's why they're emphasizing that the police were with them and HSI were with them, because this is basically going and getting somebody that broke our laws.
who is basically a drug cartel member or a leader, however you
A
want to
narco
phrase it.
terrorist.
Yep. And shout out to my man Jay. He says Raising Cain is a military version of Sheriff Grundy. Yeah, actually, you're right. Grundy. I like that guy though. Shout out that sheriff, man. That's like my favorite sheriff in the world at a certain point.
Agency partners and law enforcement teammates in an unprecedented operation.
In that state.
We leveraged our unmatched intelligence capabilities and our years of experience in hunting terrorists. And we could not have done this mission without the incredible work by various intelligence agencies, including the CIA, NSA, and NGA. We watched, we waited, we prepared, we remained patient and professional. This mission was meticulously planned, drawing lessons from decades of missions over the last many years, many missions over these last many years. This was an audacious operation that only the United States could do. It required the utmost of precision and integration within our joint force. And the word integration does not explain the sheer complexity of such a mission. An extraction so precise, it involved more than 150 aircraft launching across the Western Hemisphere in close coordination, all coming together in time and place to layer effects for a single purpose, to get an interdiction force into downtown Caracas while maintaining the element of tactical surprise.
Hold on. Pause. An interdiction unit is law enforcement. So, like, this sounds like it's either Coast Guard or not Coast Guard. Yeah, it's an interdiction unit, which is a law enforcement term. So this was probably led by HSI.
All right.
Which gives a little bit of perspective and a little bit of context to what I was saying earlier. It's a law enforcement operation for a fugitive.
God. Okay, well, hey, that's true. He is a fugitive.
Component of this well-oiled machine would have endangered the entire mission, and failure is never an option for America's joint force. Those in the air over Caracas last night were willing to give their lives for those on the ground and in the helicopters. Let me talk a little bit about the preparation. After months of work by our intelligence teammates to find Maduro and understand how he moved, where he lived, where he traveled, what he ate, what he wore, what were his pets. In early December, our force was set pending a series of aligned events. Key was choosing the right day to minimize the potential for civilian harm and maximize the element of surprise and minimize the harm to the indicted personnel. So as the president said, they could be brought to justice. And as the president said earlier today, weather in Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year. And over the weeks through Christmas and New Year's, the men and women of the United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through. Ocean, mountain, low cloud ceilings. But when tasked with a mission, this organization does not quit. At 10:46 p.m. Eastern time last night, the president ordered the United States military to move forward with this mission. He said to us, and we appreciate it, Mr. President, good luck and Godspeed. And those words were transmitted to the entire joint force. Over the course of the night, aircraft began launching from 20 different bases on land and sea across the Western Hemisphere. In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night. Thousands and thousands of hours of experience were airborne. Our youngest crew member was
Okay, yeah, they were completely overwhelmed. What they show us on a video was very small to what was actually being used out there. They were completely overwhelmed.
20, and our oldest crew member was 49, and there's simply no match for American military might. As the night began, the helicopters took off with the extraction force, which included law enforcement officers, and began their flight into Venezuela at 100 feet above the water. As they approached Venezuelan shores, the United States began layering different effects provided by Spacecom, Cybercom, and other members of the interagency to create a pathway. Overhead, those forces were protected from aircraft, were protected by aircraft from the United States Marines, the United States Navy, the United States Air Force, and the Air National Guard. The force included F-22s, F-35s, F-18s, EA-18s, E-2s, B-1 bombers, and other support aircraft, as well as numerous remotely piloted drones. As the force began to approach Caracas, the Joint Air Component began dismantling and disabling the air defense systems in Venezuela, employing weapons to ensure the safe passage of the helicopters into the target area. The goal of our air component is, was, and always will be to protect the helicopters and the ground force and get them to the target and get them home. As the force crossed the last point of high terrain where they'd been hiding in the clutter, we assessed that we had maintained totally the element of surprise. As the helicopter force ingressed towards the objective at low level, we arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit, but remained flyable, and as the president said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure. Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima. In closing, what we've witnessed today is a powerful demonstration of America's joint force. We think, we develop, we train, we rehearse, we debrief, we rehearse again and again, not to get it right, but to ensure that we cannot get it wrong. Our jobs are to integrate combat power so when the order comes, we can deliver overwhelming force at the time and the place of our choosing against any foe anywhere in the world. I am immensely proud today of our joint force and filled with gratitude to represent them here today. There is simply no mission too difficult for these incredible professionals and the families that stand by them and support them. As we stand here this morning, our forces remain in the region at a high state of readiness, prepared to project power, defend themselves, and our interests in the region. This operation is a testament to the dedication and unwavering commitment to justice and our resolve to hold accountable those who threaten peace and stability. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women who executed this mission. Their courage and tireless commitment to our nation are what makes us strong. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you, Mr. President.
I'd just like to say before we continue, to all the keyboard warriors in the chat that think you learned a word, imperialism, how about you go look up the definition of that word, maybe just once, before you just keep slinging it around. Um, you are the antithesis of what keeps America safe, and you think that you're smart. You think that you know what you're talking about, and you couldn't be farther from the truth. If you had ever in your life picked up a legal textbook, picked up, anything that could steer you in the right direction, maybe even a dictionary, you would know everything you're doing, everything you're saying makes you sound like a complete and utter idiot. I feel bad for you. I really feel bad that you make yourself look so stupid because you act on emotion and you speak on emotion and not logic and brain power.
Well, but all right, let's get back to it.
Well, I don't have much to add to what you've heard now, other than the following points. Nicolas Maduro was indicted in 2020 in the United States. He is not the legitimate president of Venezuela. That's not just us saying it. The first Trump administration, the Biden administration, the second Trump administration, none of those three recognized him. He's not recognized by the European Union and multiple countries around the world. He is a fugitive of American justice with a $50 million reward. Which
Thank you.
$50 million. And
Make sure.
yeah, exactly. But
Don't let anybody claim it. Nobody deserves it but us.
But I want to be clear about one thing. Nicolas Maduro had multiple opportunities to avoid this. He was provided multiple very, very, very generous offers and chose instead to act like a wild man, chose instead to play around. And the result is what we saw tonight. The other message here is the following. You have a guy, like many people around the world, they like to play games. You have a guy who decides he's going to invite Iran into his country, is going to, do the confiscation of American oil companies, is going to flood our country with gang members, is going to take Americans prisoner and try to hold them for hostage and trade them like he was able to do with the Biden administration. Basically likes to play games all this time and thinks nothing's going to happen. And I hope what people now understand is that we have a president. The 47th president of the United States is not a game player. When he tells you that he's going to do something, when tells you he's going to address a problem, he means it. He actions it. I can tell you, I've watched this process now for 14, 15 years, been around it. Everybody talks. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. When I get there, we're going to do this. We're going to take. This is a president of action. Like, I don't understand yet how they haven't figured this out. And now, if you don't know, now you know. Because this is the way it's going to play out. And I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences. And, if he says he's serious about something, he means it.
Yep.
And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States. And the president addressed it. This is a president of peace, by the way. I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities to find his way somewhere else and figure out another. He could have been living somewhere else right now, very happy. But instead, he wanted to play big boy. And so now, he's got other sets of problems on his hands.
I mean, yeah, we did offer him to leave. Like, bro, you can leave, take a decent amount of money with you, and go live your life somewhere else. And he won't bother you. Just leave Venezuela. He's like, no, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna play tough guy and fight. But then you kind of got pushed over like a dandelion. I'm sorry, but kind of.
Guess what? So we tried the. I tried to sympathize with the idiots. Fuck it. This is what we voted for. Cry harder, cope harder, seethe in it. Sit back and watch and know that your little puppet that you tried to put up is not in power. Our president's in power, and you're not going to do anything about it because you can't do anything about it because you're a fucking loser. You lose all the time.
That's what you're giving him right now, Monty. Like, all right.
And but I think that the message here should be for the world. Look, the president doesn't go out looking for people to pick fights with. He's not generally wants to get along with everybody. We'll talk and meet with anybody, but don't play games. Don't play games with this president's in office because it's not going to turn out well. And so I hope that I guess that lesson was learned last night, and we hope it'll be instructive moving forward.
Please. We're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but that's going to be paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should.
Oh,
be.
and set
Just a minor flow. It was actually
for
a minor
the
flow.
for the folks that want to say that this is oil and nothing else. You know what? Even if it was for oil and nothing else, Maduro stole U.S. property and U.S. oil. He stole it because he's a socialist, and that's what socialists do. They steal things and say it's for the greater good of humanity and everybody, and it's a state resource, yada, yada, yada. Those American companies that owned that paid for it legitimately and bought it, he stole it from them so that on the guise of I'm
That's
going to
socialism.
enact
They steal from the
socialism,
capitalists.
and I'm gonna enact socialism, and I'm gonna give it to everybody. What did he do with it? He became corrupt and became a drug cartel kingpin. He didn't do anything for any of his people. His people are living in squalor without power. So shut the fuck up about this is all about oil. You think like I said, if you'd ever picked up a textbook and known anything about anything, you wouldn't be saying the things you'd say.
I mean, yeah, honestly, if you just come on, guys, just look at global news and just look at what Trump actually says right before you. I mean, he written out in his doctrine that he's focusing on hemispherical power. I mean, if you actually knew anything about Venezuela, they work with all of our enemies. Why would we want our enemies working in our hemisphere? I mean, they don't like it when we do that to them, so of course we wouldn't like it when they do that to us. So to be quite honest with you, it makes sense why Trump has did this. And if this took you by surprise and you obviously wasn't paying attention,
what they have, but we're going to run it properly, and we're going to make sure the people of Venezuela are taken care of. We're going to make sure the people that were forced out of Venezuela by this thug are also taken care of.
President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, they always say boots on the ground. Oh, so we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually. We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it, but we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly.
And to be honest with you guys, this is how you know it's not all about oil. If it was about oil, Maduro was already giving that up. Maduro was already saying you can come over here and have the oil fields, you can have the natural resources. So if it was about oil, trust me, I mean, he was getting that with Maduro. Maduro didn't have to get out of power for Trump to get access to the oil, to be quite honest with you. This was just something that he wanted Maduro out of there for his crimes. And then, of course, if you want to go ahead and add the oil and natural resources, yeah, you can add that in there because it is part of the reason. But it's not, oil is not the only reason. You'd be very foolish to think that.
Well, they're foolish people. What do you expect?
We could have lost a lot of
good point.
Dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. They stole our oil. We built that whole industry there, and they just took it over like we were nothing. And we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it. Yeah, please.
Mechanism by which you're going to run the country? Are you going to designate a U.S. official to coordinate?
Yes. It's all being done right now. We're designating people. We're talking to people. We're designating various people, and we're going to let you know who those people are.
Would run Venezuela?
Well, it's largely going to be for a period of time. The people that are standing right behind me, we're going to be running it. We're going to be bringing it back. It's a dead. I talk about a dead country. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country. Now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're a country doing better than any country anywhere in the world. And it required leadership. Venezuela has a lot of bad people in there, a lot of bad people that shouldn't be leading. We're not going to take a chance that one of those people take over for Maduro. So you can look at and others. We have fantastic people, including people in the military. So we're going to have a group of people running it until such time as it can be put back on track. Make a.
It doesn't sound like we're just gonna go ahead and install Maria, right? Or yeah, Maria Cortez or something like that. I remember her first name. I always forget her middle and last name. But it looks like we're gonna hold off on adding in the Nobel Peace Prize winner, and we're gonna go ahead and run it ourselves until we feel comfortable with who's ever gonna run it. Because I thought as soon as we got Maduro out, we were just gonna install her. But it kind of seems like we're holding off on that.
It sounds like we're gonna do foreign policy a little bit differently than we tried to do in the Middle East. We did what we did. We are going to run things. We are going to control things. And then when it sounds like she's pretty much a shoo-in for the election. Then they're going to hold elections once they so to say drain the swamp over in Venezuela. Then they'll hold elections. And she'll probably be on the ticket naturally.
I wonder if that includes the VP though, because I said that's who's currently in power right now is the VP of President Maduro, or of
that, I'll be completely honest with you. It sounds like the VP is the one that betrayed Maduro.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm thinking the same thing because like she just popped up there too quickly, and I'm be real with you.
She wouldn't be in power. The U.S. would. The U.S. would not have let her go into power.
Yeah, that and yeah, true. Also, that as well. Like the fact that she was like already signed up for power or to be an interim president, I was like, all right, yeah, she must have been working with the U.S.
She's
why was let's be real? If she was working with Maduro, they'd have took her out too.
Exactly. She's a known accomplice. She would be a known accomplice.
And
she was working with the United States. I don't want to out her like that because.
No, this makes sense because think about it. How else would they know his position if she wasn't talking to the CIA, revealing the girl's position, letting the USA know, and boom, there we go. We carry out the strike, get him out of there. She steps up.
I'm telling you. So everybody that's in the chat that thinks that this is some unilateral action, that this is only for oil, you're an idiot. I hate to tell you, I'm gonna hand you your idiot award. You got first place in the idiot games. There's nothing like
gold medal.
How do you think we don't just have the hand of God mode installed on all of our guns that we just walk in and do whatever we want? We need cooperation. Otherwise, it's going to be a long drawn out thing. This happened. Boom. This is like a baby mama snitching on a fugitive. That's what happened here.
It's like, yo, the person closest to you. If it was the VP, that's the person closest to him that would know where he's at, that he would call him, like, yo, I'm about to head to this location. And she calls USA, like, yeah, he's in this location. Come now. Somewhere near the, whatchamacallit, in Caracas, near the sea. You guys can access it easy. Boom. So, yeah, it's looking like the VP is the one who might have been the snitch.
And guess what? Guess what, liberals? Cry harder. Cry harder. Try harder. I love it. Can we get the buckets out for the tears? We might be in high waters soon.
Actually, I'll have to hit him with this one.
Stop whining. Your kids are soft. You lack discipline. But I've got news for you. You're mine now.
Venezuela's is ours now. Okay.
Get over it. Get over it. I love it. I mean, I'm watching the comments come in. And it's so fun to watch. I love when evil people don't get their way.
And give people a great way of life, and also reimbursement for people in our country that were forced out of Venezuela.
Rubio would be.
You said earlier today that you weren't going to back Machado to come back and be the opposition leader in your Fox and Friends interview. And then you also mentioned the vice president of Venezuela. Are you going to work with the vice president of Venezuela, or how do you foresee the relationship
Well, I understand she was just sworn in, but she was, as you know, picked by Maduro. So Marco's working on that directly. He just had a conversation with her, and she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Very simple.
Mr. President, Colombian President Gustavo Petro, a couple weeks ago, he said he's got to watch his ass. And today he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So just what your message is about
he
that.
has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine.
I mean, AKA, Cuba, like, quit playing crazy. You could be next.
And yeah, I think I stick by my.
Hey, Set.
He's making cocaine. They're sending it in.
Yo, what's up?
You ever watch Avengers? Like the very beginning when Natasha Romanoff is got tied up on that chair, and the Coulson calls him and is like, "You're at this address right now." that's what's about to happen to him.
It's like literally they're about to hit him up and be like, so you know we know where you're at, right? Like the building, the color of the house, the color of the
You're
little
wearing
shade
blue
you're standing next
shorts.
to. Yeah, it's like, bro, like we know the color of the lamp you're standing next to, bro. Freak the hell out. But shout out to my man Jet. He's like, we taking on water, Captain. Yep, go ahead and get the buckets because the liberals are crying. Well, hey guys, hey, what can I say, man? But
Stop it. Get some help. Stop.
Okay, Trump, all he did was just take out Maduro, take out a dictator. People in Venezuela are happy. I mean, why can't you be happy? I mean, they're the ones who basically got invaded, not you. So why aren't you happy? I mean, they're over there cheering in the streets, over here crying in the chat about Trump, while people are cheering in the streets over what Trump did. I mean, come on now.
To the United States, so he does have to watch his ass.
Mr. President, did you notify any members of Congress in advance?
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved.
I'm weak. I kind of like how he deferred that to Marco Rubio. He's like, hey, Mark, man, get over here, bro. I ain't talking about it. That's hilarious.
Bro, there's some thugs. They are some thugs. I love it. I'm here for it. I've been a little shaky on supporting Trump over the past year. This just makes up for it. I'm glad. I wouldn't rather have anybody else other than him.
Right. Shout out my man Monty. All right, guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video.
Of Congress in advance.
Marco, do you want to talk about that? Because you were involved. Sure.
We call members of Congress immediately after. This was not the kind of mission that you can do congressional notification on. It was a trigger-based mission in which conditions had to be met night after night. We watched and monitored that for a number of days. So it's just simply not the kind of mission you can call people and say, hey, we may do this at some point in the next 15 days. But it's largely a law enforcement function. Remember, at the end of the day...
all right, yep, Monty, you're right. They're going to frame, law enforcement. So we didn't get approved for Congress on it because it was time sensitive. And how did I know they were going to use that excuse? It was like, yeah, it's too time sensitive to let Congress know. And this was more of a law enforcement move than a military move. Remember, that's how they're, well, now, that's what it is. Or you can say that's how they're framing it.
He's already let Congress know. We declared a war on drugs in the 80s. Since we want to go with this whole war on terror means you can go into sovereign countries and do whatever you want. We declared a war on drugs in the 80s. So we're in an active war right now. And so fuck it. We're with drug cartels.
Well,
and not to mention the Department of Justice and the judicial system has indicted him. Which means they went to a co-equal branch of government and got an indictment.
They forgot about that part. But all right, guys, let's get back.
And he's enforcing laws that Congress wrote.
At its core, this was an arrest of 2 indicted fugitives of American justice, and the Department of War supported the Department of Justice in that job. Now, there are broader policy implications here, but it's just not the kind of mission that you can pre-notify because it endangers the mission.
Plus, if I could add one thing to that, Congress has a tendency to leak. This would not be good. If they leaked, General, I think it would have been maybe a very different result. But I have to say, they knew we were coming at some point, a lot of ships out there. They sort of knew we were coming. We went there. But Congress will leak, and we don't want leakers.
Ooh, that too, though. I mean, there's that as well. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. We got some foreign operatives in our Congress. Let's just keep it a buck. Like, we could have told Congress, and it might allow a leak to Venezuela out of just favorship for Maduro. Because, remember, Maduro's a socialist. So we got a lot of Democratic socialists. Not saying that, Democratic Party would just sell us out. But, I mean, he's not lying. Like, Congress, they got leakers who might have just leaked that. It might have went right on to, like, well, I don't know, CNN, MSNBC, and say, Trump is planning to bomb Venezuela. We're sounding the alarm. We must stop him, and then ruin the whole operation. Now we got to figure out another way to get the man.
Hey, Seth, do me a favor. Can we get a live reading of the War Powers Act and the Article 2 of the Constitution?
Oh, yeah, sure. No problem.
Thank you.
able to watch this all play out live. What was Maduro doing when the U.S. forces entered what I assume would be his home? And also, was there any point where the U.S. was considering if Maduro pushed back or resisted killing Maduro?
It could have happened.
And, just for you guys who forgot about the War Powers Resolution of 1973, basically called the War Powers Act, is a U.S. law designed to limit the president's power to commit the U.S. to armed conflict without congressional approval, requiring presidential consultation with Congress before deploying forces and mandating reports within 48 hours within a 60-day limit for troop deployment without a formal authorization. Through presidents have often challenged or sidestepped this provision. I mean,
Hey,
yeah.
and guess what? He, according to that law, he has notified Congress within 48 hours after doing it, and it didn't last more than 90 days.
That's true. I mean, let's be honest. It hasn't even been really 12 hours.
And that Congress knows about it. The fucking media, the American people know about it.
Man, the whole world knows about it. We all know. This man Trump came through, hit Venezuela, took Maduro, and now we got the guy that we wanted. And I guess we got the bloodless regime change.
If you don't like it, vote harder next time.
I'm weak. Well, I'll be real with you. You can't be all that upset about this. And we'll see how Congress tries to tackle it. All through the day, they're going to be coming up with a way to pretty much frame this as a war crime.
Ilhan Omar is gonna have a fucking cow.
I'm weak. Oh, man, I can't wait to see it. That and the Young Turks, they'll be going crazy.
Right after she drops her kid off at her Somali daycare.
I'm done.
It should have happened. He was trying to get into a safe place. The safe place is all steel. And he wasn't able to make it to the door because our guys were so fast. They went through the opposition so fast. And there was a lot of opposition. People were wondering, do we get them by surprise? Sort of surprised, but they were waiting for something. It was a lot of opposition. There was a lot of gunfire. You saw some of it today. But he was trying to get to a safe place, which wasn't safe because we would have had the door blown up in about 47 seconds, they say on average. Regardless of how thick the steel was. It was a very thick door. It was a very heavy door, but he was unable to get to that door. He made it to the door. He was unable to close it. Go ahead, finish.
To be in the time being right now. Do you know his exact
Well, eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President. The U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without.
Wait a second. Hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Yeah, what's up?
Is he going to be in the same courtroom as Trump?
I don't know.
The Southern District of New York is where Trump was charged, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I know he's getting charged in New York, but I'm not sure what district.
No, the Southern District. That's who put the arrest warrant out for him.
Oh, then yeah, he's basically going.
He's going to be in the same courtroom.
I mean, hey man, hey, it's kind of funny. It is funny, but hey, different charges.
Oh, so I'm looking at a video from Venezuela now where the people are literally in the street jumping up and down, clapping as posters and pictures of their fearless leader are being ripped down. So I don't think Venezuela is too upset.
Yeah, they're tearing his face off buildings and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's what the video I just
wanted
watched.
him gone.
So think about it, liberals. You're arguing against oppressed people. You have your priorities wrong here.
I mean, bro, trust me. If it's about F Trump, bro, they'll want those people to go back into slavery if it meant anything.
Oh, absolutely. He can't solve any problems without being called a dictator and blah 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 blah.
If it's on the premise of F Trump, they'll even agree that we should just keep them Venezuelans poor.
Absolutely. No, but socialism works so well that there's nothing wrong with Venezuela. The people aren't chanting in the streets. That's propaganda.
Mm-mm. But all right, let's keep it going.
To be in the time being right now. Do you know his exact
Well,
whereabouts?
eventually, ultimately, in the near future, he's going to be brought to New York.
And where is he going to be held? Where is he going to be held in New York? Do you know?
That's going to be up to the officials that do these things.
Mr. President, The U.S. has something of a mixed track record of ousting dictators without necessarily a plan for what comes afterwards.
Not with
Did
me.
that weigh on your decision?
Well, that's when we had different presidents, but with me, that's not true. With
Mm.
me, we've had a perfect track record of winning. We win a lot, and we win. If you look at Soleimani, you look at al-Baghdadi, you look at the Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was incredible. Right now, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. We have essentially peace in the Middle East because of that. If we weren't successful with Midnight Hammer, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. So, with me, you've had a lot of victory. You've had only victories. You've had no losses. Yeah.
That is a good point, Seth. Hope that is a very good point.
Go ahead.
He's been very consistent in his winning. He doesn't do something unless he's going to completely and totally shock the press and wow everybody. And the press corps brought up a good point. We have a history of doing this. And he's like, not with me, you don't. You got to give him credit where credit's due. He's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you gotta be honest. He's like what 2-0 right now when it comes to these strikes. Everybody got a big uproar about it, and it just happened to work out. Like when we struck Iran, everybody was saying, "Oh my God, we're about to go to war with Iran," but no, Iran conceded, and they just said, "Look, we'll stop the conflict," and that was that. Now we struck Venezuela. I mean, first 30 minutes of it. Oh my God, we're going to war with Venezuela. Oh, and the Dems were trying to rub it in our face. Oh, I thought you said this was a no-war president. Well, or no more. Well,
There's no war.
Well, there's no war. Still no war, guys.
We
Not
ended a war and arrested somebody without causing a war. Tell me another president that can do that.
I mean, yeah, we hit a couple of strikes, but that's all.
We are winners. Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that one.
And how soon do you want Venezuelan people to hold elections?
So I'd like to do it quickly, but it takes a period of time. We're rebuilding. We have to rebuild their whole infrastructure. The infrastructure is rotted. It's actually very dangerous. It's blow up territory. Oil is very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing to take out of the ground. It can kill a lot of people. It has killed a lot of people doing just that. The infrastructure is old. It's rotted. Much of it is stuff that we put there 25 years ago, and we're going to be replacing it. And we're going to take a lot of money out so that we can take care of the country. Yeah.
Are you saying that Secretary Rubio and
Mr. President,
how can they?
China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this operation affect your relationships with them when
Well,
it
in
comes to
terms
the
of
oil and
China
drugs?
and Russia, Russia, when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say we're not going to give it. In other words, we'll be selling oil probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure was so bad. So we'll be selling large amounts of oil to other countries, many of whom are using it now, but I would say many more will come.
are you saying, Mr. President, are you saying that,
Mr.
President, are you saying that,
Mr. President, thank you. What is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian.
In and out, like shout out Jason. In and out like a one night stand. I mean, all right, that was funny. But in and out, bro, literally in and out like a one night stand. And yes, we were in the night. It was in the night. We was in. We was out, just like a one night stand. So hey, shout out Jet.
Population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
That you're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time. It was stolen from you. But you're going to have peace and you're going to have safety. You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have potentially a great country. If you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country. And they destroyed it. Remember, I said that if we lose this election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. We lost the election.
Yo.
People who can't point to Venezuela on a map mad that the president of Venezuela has been arrested.
No, literally though, a lot of these people cannot point out Venezuela on the map. I would hope they could, but probably not. Shoot, they probably couldn't even tell me it. Like, all right, where's Venezuela? Northern South America, Central South America, or Southern South America? Can you tell me where it is at, guys, without looking at Google? All right then.
The 2024 election, We suffered so badly when you look at the border from 2020. What they did, what Joe Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms. I used to say, if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids. And that's what would have happened.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military
They're going
troops
to be a
to provide?
team that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn as president just a little.
Bro, set.
Yo,
Somebody responded and says it doesn't matter if I don't know where it is.
I mean, bro, somebody was talking about what's the capital. I'm like, bro, the capital's where they struck. I mean, I thought y'all.
Caracas.
Yeah, I mean, y'all should have known that. They said it in the report. But it is what I mean. When I think about it, where does mainly the president or these a world leader resides? In
The capital?
Yeah, the capital. So I mean,
Bro,
kind of a
context
no-brainer.
clues could have told you that. And I did not expect my point to be proven in 30 seconds. I was making a joke, and someone made it real.
Now, you know what, Monty? I'm gonna be nice because when we get to the end of this, I want to have one of these guys come up here and debate their point on. Well, I just want to hear what the other side got to say. So the leftists, if you disagree with it, act the war, all that. I want to hear your opinion on it, and let's talk about it. I'm gonna go ahead.
We gotta do an actual structured debate. Like the other person's mic gets muted by the host. 2 minutes at a time, 5 rounds.
All right. Hey, that sounds nice. If you guys are up for that one, hey, go ahead and hop in. Go ahead and hop in on it.
If you win, I will gift you a channel membership.
I'm weak. Man, you know damn well they wouldn't want that. You better give them a membership to their favorite channel. But all right, let's keep it going.
Who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn as president just a little while ago.
Yeah, but if you are a naysayer, you disagree with me and Monty are saying out here, or our perspective on Venezuela, please go to the main page, hit the post tab, hit that StreamYard link. You can come right on up, or you can go to the horizontal live, and you can find the StreamYard link there.
It's not super fair that I've just been up here this entire time without opposition. I need the SIDS out there to wake up.
I mean, shoot, yeah. So pretty much, Monty feels like cooking somebody today. So if you feel like getting cooked, please, step up. Or if you feel like you would be the one doing the cooking, please step up.
She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, "We'll do whatever you need." I think she was quite gracious, but
here we go.
Rubio and
Mr. President, China, Russia, and Iran have interests in Venezuela. How does this operation affect your relationships with them when
well,
it
in
comes
terms
to
of
oil
China
and drugs?
and Russia, Russia when we get things straightened out. But in terms of other countries that want oil, we're in the oil business. We're going to sell it to them. We're not going to say we're not going to give it. In other words, we'll be selling oil. Probably in much larger doses because they couldn't produce very much because their infrastructure was so bad. So we'll be selling large amounts of oil to other countries, many of whom are using it now, but I would say many more will come.
Are you saying, Mr. President? Are you
to the people
saying
of
that,
Venezuela?
Mr. President? Are
Go
you
ahead,
saying
behind
that?
you, please.
Mr. President, thank you. What is your message to the people of Venezuela today? Of course, the civilian population specifically, they have a lot of questions. What is your message to the people of Venezuela?
That you're going to have peace, justice. You're going to have some of the riches that you should have had for a long period of time. It was stolen from you. But you're going to have peace and you're going to have safety. You're going to have justice. You're going to have a country. You're going to have a real country. You're going to have.
I mean, Tim, like, if we're both stupid, please come up here and prove to us that we're both stupid. Please.
He won't. He's got social anxiety.
I know I got to call out all the cowards in the chat. The only person I know that's going to step up is, Link. And I don't even think, Link, if you want to, you're always welcome. But
here's what I'm proposing, and you can veto me if you want, but this is what I'm proposing. 5 rounds, 2 minutes each. So I get 2 minutes, somebody else gets 2 minutes. Our mics shall be muted so the other person cannot talk over you. If you break that, you lose a point, period. You lose that round. Every round, we're going to do a poll in the chat to see who won. Whoever wins the most points wins the debate.
All right, sure, I could do it. Probably got to at least increase it to like 3 minutes, so each round is like 6 minutes.
Fair enough. That either way, give him some more time to get the long-winded things out and respond to things. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, if you want to accept those terms, please come on up. If you are a naysayer who disagree with what we're saying, who disagree how Trump tackled Venezuela, or who just disagree with Trump in general, come on up, have your voice heard, or remain a coward in the chat, which most of you guys will.
Potentially a great country. You know, if you go back 20 years, maybe even a little longer ago, that was a great country, and they destroyed it. Remember, I said that if we lose this election, the United States will be Venezuela on steroids. That's what would have happened. Had we lost the election, the 2024 election, we suffered so badly. When you look at the border from 2020, what they did, what Joe Biden administration did to our country should never be forgotten. But if we had to go through another year of that, we would be exactly where Venezuela was in terms. I used to say, if they win, we're going to be Venezuela.
And guys, you see how we call them out in the chat and y'all start running for the hills? They had a lot to say with their fingers, but when it came time to talk, what happened?
Silence.
I gotta leave, guys. I got stuff to do. I mean, but you was over here typing your life away though. When you get called out, oh man, I gotta leave, guys. I gotta leave. I'm like,
man,
okay.
I got a job that I've never had in my life to go to.
Like, bruh. Okay, guys.
It's a simple debate platform. I would say it's very, very easy. If you're so convicted in your values, you would win it very handedly, but you can't, and you cannot convince anybody. You can only be convinced by your own typing to pat yourself on the back.
I mean, like, Tim, look, bro, you're already a sucker. I'm sorry, but you're already labeled a pussy at this point. We told you to come up. You was talking all this crap in the chat, so you are now officially the pussy of the chat. I mean, everybody throw cat signs for our guy Tim. Cat emojis for Tim.
Can we put a label in front of his username?
I wish, bro. You know what people be labeled pussies by now for not coming up after talking all this shit. I'll probably have like 800 guys with that emoji on them.
I mean, I'm not, and I'm trying to make this very, very fair. You do not get to interrupt me, and I do not get to interrupt you. You get to have your voice. You get to mock me. You can do whatever the hell you want.
But all right.
But you won't take it because you can't stand on your principles. I'm the only one up here standing on my principles. That's sad.
And y'all was over, like I said, y'all was over here writing paragraphs in the chat, and now you're silent. That's hilarious. That's real funny. But
exactly where Venezuela was.
Oh, and shout out to my man Maine. He says, I like it, Monty. Great show. Said, hey, I appreciate that, Maine. And shout out to all the supporters, guys. You know, I appreciate y'all. And you know, Tim, you can always redeem your manhood and come on up here and at least have a 3-round debate, you know, and because like I said, dog, we're not gonna sit here and just talk over you or anything like that. But I mean, let's be real though. If you're gonna be talking this in the chat, we would hope you'd want to step up.
Yeah, we're gonna do
a rock and hide your hands now. Don't be a coward.
We're gonna do a mute the mic debate, and if you break the mute, you lose a point. That is completely fair. No one's gonna get talked over. It's not I say something to you and you say something to me. No, you get to monologue for 3 minutes uninterrupted, and then I get to refute it, and then you get to refute me, and then we go back and forth. And each round, we're going to take a poll on it. But if that's too much for you, I understand. Intellect is not liberal strong suit.
But they like to pretend it is, though.
In terms, I used to say, if they win, we're going to be Venezuela on steroids, and that's what would have happened.
President, thank you. Are you saying that Secretary Hegseth and Rubio are going to be running Venezuela, and will you be sending in U.S. military
They're
troops
going
to
to be a
provide?
team that's working with the people of Venezuela to make sure that we have Venezuela right. Because for us to just leave, who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious, but She really doesn't have a choice. We're going to have this done right. We're not going to just do this with Maduro, then leave like everybody else, leave and say, let it go to hell. If we just left, it has zero chance of ever coming back.
Oh yeah, bro. Just go ahead and go to my main page, hit the post tab, and I'm talking to clerk. So KLK, yeah, triple R, yeah, you, my friend. Yeah, you can go ahead and go to the main page, hit the post tab, you'll see the StreamYard link right there.
Yeah, if you click on Set's little bubble, if you're in the vertical feed, click on Set's little icon, and it'll bring you to what he's referring to as the main page, and scroll over to the post tab. It's the most recent post on the top.
Yep, that's all you got to do. Simple as that. I mean, if you can't figure that out, then you probably shouldn't come up in debate. But I'm sorry. That's
No. It is a little convoluted. I will give him that. It is convoluted if you don't know what you're doing.
I'll just being a dick.
We'll run it properly. We'll run it professionally. We'll have the greatest oil companies in the world go in and invest billions and billions of dollars and take out money, use that money in Venezuela. And the biggest beneficiary are going to be the people of Venezuela. And also, I can't stress this strongly enough, the people that got thrown out of Venezuela that are now in the United States. And frankly, some want to stay and some probably want to go back. Yeah.
In the country, and were any of the detained Americans?
Well, right now they're very
last night?
protected because nobody's going to mess with us. They're very protected. The people of, and we let them know that you better not touch one of them.
And are you concerned that bad elements of the Maduro regime will remain in place?
Well, we know who they are. We're on them, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted 2 days ago. Okay, wait, behind you, please.
Mr. President, why is running a country in South America America first?
Well, I think it is because we want to surround ourselves with good neighbors. We want to surround ourselves with stability. We want to surround ourselves with energy. We have tremendous energy in that country. It's very important that we protect it. We need that for ourselves. We need that for the world. And we want to make sure we can protect it. Yes, sir. Please, go ahead.
Is there a message for Cuba and Diaz-Canel?
Well, Cuba is an interesting case. Cuba is, not doing very well right now. That system has not been a very good one for Cuba. The people there have suffered for many, many years. And I think Cuba is going to be something we'll end up talking about because Cuba is a failing nation right now, very badly failing nation. And we want to help the people. It's very similar in the sense that we want to help the people in Cuba, but we want to also help the people that were forced out of Cuba and living in this country. Do you want to say something about that, Marco, please?
Well, I mean, I just gave you a statement a few minutes ago about, when the president speaks, you should take him seriously. So suffice it to say, Cuba is a disaster. It's run by incompetent, senile men, and in some cases, not senile, but incompetent nonetheless. It has no economy. It's in total collapse. And by the way, they were, all of the guards that helped protect Maduro, this is well known, their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems the Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba that tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit. Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned, it's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's a pre-existing.
The answer is yes. Yes. No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
Mr. President.
Mr.
President, on Monday.
Oh, I think it would be very tough for her to be the leader. She doesn't have the support within or the respect within the country. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't have the respect.
Mr. President, is it possible that the U.S. ends up administrating Venezuela for years?
Well, it won't cost us anything because the money coming out of the ground is very substantial. So it's not going to cost us anything. We want safety there. We want to be surrounded by countries that aren't housing all of our enemies all over the world. That's what was happening. And you don't want to have that. But we're going to be rebuilding.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Venezuela was, like I said, working with our biggest adversaries, which would be, of course, you got China, Russia, and Iran. Working with all three of them. So I'm sorry if we just had to get these guys up out of here because it's pretty crazy having the top three adversaries of the United States have influence in, Venezuela and our side of the hemisphere, decently close to us.
And we're not spending money. The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming.
Shout out to my man Josh. He says, "Great idea, Monty." Well, damn, hey, I'm glad you two.
No one's going to take it up on me because that means they'd have to use their brains for more than 3 seconds.
Yeah, and like, bro, liberals kind of live on over talking you. Trust me. You ever been on a TikTok debate?
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
If you ever debated a liberal on TikTok, I swear to God, that's literally their tactic is to overtalk you.
That's why I said we're not gonna overtalk.
Bro, mute you and throw like 80 questions at you. And then as soon as you try to answer one of those 80 questions, they cut you off or start reading out support. I mean, the strategy is diabolical, but it is pretty funny to watch it happen. Or even when it happens to you, it's kind of funny. It's like, damn, y'all really like this.
Yeah, I'm saying I want to be completely transparent. I want to be vulnerable to debate and to attack. You can take your 3 minutes to call me every name in the book and say everything you've been saying in the chat, but now we're going to give you a full-throated voice to say it. Come on, I don't bite. I just cook.
I'm weak. Hey, shout out. I like what you did there.
Frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend. So it's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries. And we also have to have energy, very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground. You take a look, it was such a disaster. So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year is going to be a great thing. And the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiaries.
Yo,
there's a good one. I'd like to call out Emania Andromeda.
Yeah.
What he did was illegal. Who cares if it's right or wrong?
Usually if it's
you're wrong on both counts because what he did was legal and what he did was right. So I'd actually, if I could hone in on anybody, that would be the person I'd like to hone in on.
Depending on who you ask, but if you want to ask the people who we feel are most important, ask the Venezuelans, and they're happy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with what he did was right. The Venezuelans feel like it was right, and they're the people most affected. So who am I to say it was bad when the people who are most affected are cheering? Like, it just don't make sense.
Illegal. He had a warrant for his arrest. We executed that warrant.
Yep. They forget about that part. But like I said, you guys can come on up. Go ahead and hit that little icon up there at the top. Go to the post tab. We'll go to my main page, hit the post tab, and hop in the StreamYard.
Someone said, okay, demonstrate the legality of it. That's what we just did for the first hour of the stream.
Going to send in the U.S. military.
Mr. President, thank you. What did you last speak to Maduro about when you spoke? And is the
Well, I don't want to get into the
Venezuela?
conversations, but I did have conversations with him, and I said, you got to surrender. And I actually thought he was pretty close to doing so, but now he wished he did, yeah.
You said that Maduro is responsible for drug trafficking. You recently pardoned the former president of Honduras who was convicted of many drug trafficking. Can you explain how these two situations are different? And would you ever pardon Maduro?
I endorsed, as you know, the winning president, the man who won in Honduras. I endorsed the man who won in Chile. I endorsed the man who won in Argentina. And we are doing very well with that whole group. What the man that I pardoned was, if you could equate it to us, he was treated like the Biden administration treated a man named Trump. That didn't work out too well for them. This was a man who was persecuted very unfairly. He was the head of the country. He was persecuted very unfairly. And there are a number of them. And we felt that it was a very unfair situation that happened to him. He's also a party member of the man who won. So obviously the people liked what I did. And one of the reasons that was done is because of the fact that the party in power felt very strongly that that man was treated very badly. I studied it very quickly, and then I studied it in great detail. I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a pardon.
You referenced
boots on the ground earlier. Can you just sort of button this up? Do you envision the U.S. military having a presence in Venezuela as the U.S. runs that
Well,
country?
no, we're going to have a presence in Venezuela as it pertains to oil because we have to have. We're sending our expertise in. So you may need something, not very much, but no, we're going to be taking out a tremendous amount of wealth out of the ground, and that wealth is going to the people of Venezuela and people from outside of Venezuela that used to be in Venezuela. And it goes also to the United States of America in the form of reimbursement for the damages caused us by that country. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. Do you have one? Yes, please. You were so nice before. I'm going to give you the final
Really?
question.
Is there no one in the
Unless
back?
it's a bad question, in
It's
which
about
case I'll
Putin.
go one word. It's about
Say that again.
Is there no one hopping up on stage?
Nah, hey, bro. I tell you, sometimes when you call these guys out, bro,
You
they
got
start
4 people
running.
that are still saying it's an illegal war, that it's this, that it's that. Come up and debate it.
I mean, yeah, but these people can't substantiate their arguments. They can type it out, but then when you got to make them explain it in detail, yeah, that's where they kind of, that's where everything falls apart.
They don't understand the details. They don't understand why this was done. They think that this is just Trump doing another Trump thing, and that is that somehow because CNN told me so, it's illegal. They're useful idiots. Think for themselves.
In their head is just the orange dictator breaking another law in their heads.
Yep.
So I don't know. For some reason they don't want to debate it. Maybe they just feel like they don't know enough information, or they just think that, oh well, I'm just so assured of myself, I don't need to debate it. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I think they're about to end this one.
It's about Putin. If you want
about Putin. Well, that's always nice
you had
to
a
talk
phone.
about Putin.
He said you're
You had a
next.
phone call with him on Monday. Did he talk at all about Maduro? Did y'all talk about this?
No, we didn't.
And
We
then,
never spoke about Maduro.
are you mad at him right now? I mean, there's this
I'm not
intelligence.
thrilled with Putin. I'm not thrilled with Putin. He's killing too many people. I thought that was.
Yeah, and sadly, we just can't pull up in Moscow and just take Putin in the dead of night. But it'd be nice if we could. Trust me, if we could, I'd be championing it. But I know we can't.
Would be so. I settled 8 1/4 war.
Hey,
You know
Set.
what the 1/4 was?
Yo.
Thailand.
So loose. Wow, that's a fitting name. Loose 12052. Taking over a country is an act of war. The president does not have war power. It's simple and easy. Who said we were taking over the country? We're installing the legitimately elected president.
I mean, are we at war with Venezuela right now? Did we strike them?
Yeah, a drug dealer is what happened. We had a gun runner, a human trafficker, a drug smuggler, a narco terrorist that had a $50 million bounty on his head through the United States justice system for crimes committed against the United States, which Congress has passed. Every branch of government is going on with this.
I mean, if you forgot who Nicolas Maduro was, by the way, and you know what he's pretty much getting caught up for. But I mean, hey, some of y'all like to forget. But don't worry, man. He's caught, and now he's out here looking like this.
Got him. Literally.
Got him. But all right, let's go ahead and get back to our guy Trump. Where you at? Here it is.
In Cambodia, I did it again. They broke out, and I did it in about 5 hours, and I settled it. I'm giving myself 1/4, so I'm up to now 8 1/4. In other words, I settled the war, but then they broke out. They had a pretty bad breakout over the last 4 days. I got them to go back to peace. So I only.
Hey guys. I am so sick and tired of this. You act like Trump flew the Chinook helicopter in and jumped out right behind him, jumped out and went and got the guy completely by himself without anybody's support. Can you imagine how many people it took to do that? And not one of them stood up and said, I think this is illegal.
Nope, not one. I mean, yeah, generals on it. You got Marco Rubio on it. Pete Hegseth on it.
They know what the law is better than some teenager in his mom's basement. Trust me.
I mean, and think about it. Don't you think they knew, like, when they did this, don't you think they already knew that Congress was going to say something about it? They already have their legal argument prepared for Congress, or they already feel like they're within their powers to do so already. So, hey, if they were acting, trust me, if they weren't confident about this, they wouldn't have made the move.
I love how many lawyers we have in the chat. Man, they get
military lawyers at that.
I swear.
But hey man, look, since Rubio and P. Hicks are part of the Trump administration, they get really no trust. So it is what it is.
One of the easier ones would be Russia, Ukraine. It's not, and they both have done some pretty bad things. And look, that's Biden's war. That's not my war. But I want to stop the lives. Did you see where last month 30,000? This last it was 27,000 the month before. 30,000, mostly soldiers, were killed this last.
Shout out to not gaming, but he said shout out to Maine. Shout out to Maine. He says out of all the trolls in the chat, no callers. Laugh my ass off. I know, right? Like I said, keyboard warrior.
Look 2 chats down. Look 2 chats down from that.
Oh, let me see here. Y'all should look it up. Just mad that the Democrats can't start World War III in Ukraine. I'm actually, hey, yo, whoever wrote that, I agree with you. I'm weak. We like, all right, man. Look, y'all just mad because y'all can't get y'all war with Russia. Okay, stop getting mad because we're able to strike Venezuela and get our guy or get the criminal that we want. Look, we got what we want, and you guys aren't mad that you can't get war with Russia. I'm sorry, but I mean, who wants nobody but you guys want war with Russia. I just want to let y'all know.
I want to say something because someone said, haha, he said he stopped the war on Ukraine on day 1. And what have the Democrats been doing ever since he got in power? Trying to keep the war going. It's like they take any position on policy that is 180 degrees in the opposite of what's in the best interest for the country.
Man.
But still no callers, really?
I want to stop that. I got NATO to pay 5% instead of the 2% that they weren't paying. They weren't paying 2, now they pay 5. And we send them a lot of munitions. We send them a lot of things, missiles and various other things, a lot. And they pay. The United States is not losing money. We're probably making money on that. It's the last thing I care about. I just want to stop all those people. We're losing 25, 30,000 human beings.
I mean, yo, City Kitty, you can always come up here yourself. I mean, you got facts, but most likely you will be another keyboard warrior, sadly. I mean, Poet King, you too. You can come up here too. I mean, but once again, you'll also be a keyboard warrior and a coward. I mean, the thing is, you're worse than Kitty because you've been here longer than him. Like, man, and shout out to my man Jay. He's like, they went to the Leering Center of Law School. I mean,
I'm fucking dead.
Yeah, you can tell some of these guys are Leering students.
Come from
the Leering Center students, man. Shout out to Kitty and Poet King. Those are your Leering Center short bus students. All right,
anybody. The debate is still on. I will upgrade my offer to I will mute myself for the rest of the live.
I'm weak. God, I mean, look, bro, just come up here and just debate it. I'm out of it. Your debate's with Monty. So y'all go ahead and have that. I'm just here to moderate it. But all you got to come up here, substantiate your point. And a lot of y'all are proving that you can't do that. You can't come up here and for 2 minutes explain your point and why we're wrong. You can't. Then I think you need to rethink your opinions. Then if you can't sit there and explain it for at least 2 minutes,
they can't. That requires more than two minutes. She called us a flat earther. Bro,
I mean, if somebody's going like coach media outlets, I'm like, bro, to you, yes, I would be a coach media outlets because I have a bigger channel than you. So yes, I'm coach set to you, my friend. I'm talking to you, Poet King. So put some respect on my name.
He said couch media outlets.
Couch media. Oh wow,
this
coach. Couch media outlets.
Do you know what the definition of media is?
I thought he said coach.
No, couch. COUCH. Couch.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see
it. Anybody can be in the media. If you're reporting on news, you're considered a journalist. It's not a title that's bestowed upon you by the elites. So shut up with your elitist arguments. You're arguing from authority, and you're literally nobody. Nobody listens to you. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Otherwise,
no subscribers, no followers whatsoever. But hey, yo, listen to what I say. I'm like, bro, how about you come up here and have your voice heard, and then we'll listen to what you say.
We're giving you a platform with 120,000 subscribers to air your grievances out and to prove us wrong, and you can't do it.
And the only reason we're grilling you guys on it is because you guys don't have any arguments, and we know you don't.
Keyboard
you want
warrior.
me to put links I'm sourcing, bro? Kitty, just come up here and bro, you can just tell me your sources and I'll put
Prove
them up.
us wrong. You're the one saying we're wrong. You have to prove that.
Yeah, that's the hilarious, bro. That's the funny part is they want you to prove their point for them. I'm like, bro, that's not how a debate works. I thought you were smarter than that.
You come up. Literally come up. And if you win in the chat, I will mute myself for the rest of the stream.
All right, then. See, like I said, it's mainly a lot of cowards in the chat who actually think they know something, but they don't. When you give them 2 minutes to explain their point, they can't even do it. All they continue to do is write 3 or 4 sentences thinking that they know something. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's because they spend too much time on Threads and Blue Sky, and everybody affirms their own opinions. They've never been outside their echo chamber. So this is completely groundbreaking to them. They are probably genuinely flabbergasted that anybody has any differing opinion than them.
I mean, shoot, they never had to defend their opinion. I mean, look at them now. They're running from it.
Exactly. They can't. It's indefensible. They are, because to defend it would be to say that you'd rather have Maduro in power. And we know what Maduro's done. So
I mean, Poet King, you're up here talking about what? Trump committed war crimes, but that's what we're debating. You talking about couch and coach is irrelevant, and you're moving the goalposts because, like I said, you're running away from the debate. So I'll give you 5 minutes to hop up here, or you get kicked out the chat. Because it's kind of I'll be real with you. I can do with the disagrees, but the shit talkers, I'm just like I have no patience for. I'm like, please come up here. I'll be respectful, and we'll hear you out. But if you can't do that, I mean, you can tuck your tail and run like you are now.
I will not talk to you the way I'm talking to you right now in an actual debate. I am very cordial. I intend to be very cordial. I'm a very nice guy to actually debate with. It's just hard to do it.
I mean, like I said, City Kitty, nope, he's not going either. He's like, you can't even read. You want to debate? Who the fuck are? I mean, bro,
who the fuck
can't
are
even
you?
explain your point. You can't even explain your point.
You can't.
You haven't explained anything.
And what am I reading that you know that I can't read? I don't understand.
No, he's talking about me because I missaw the word coach for couch for coach.
Oh, so you made a mistake, and they're perfect, right? They've never mispronounced a word in their entire life. Maybe
I came up here and extemporaneously spoke on a subject that they know nothing about, and they want to say that I can't read. I've written out documents and all that good stuff, but I can't read. But Obama been in here writing 2 sentences a piece. 2 sentences a piece, and he thinks he's smart. Like I said, bro, the arrogance of these guys.
The funny thing is their Lord and Savior Barack Obama told everybody that we had 57 states, and he has a couple more to visit. So
I mean, and and shout out. Somebody said thanks for being on, but you're wasting time debating these they are keyboard warriors.
You know what?
Right.
That's fair. You know what?
Yeah, they are keyboard. They're pathetic, bro. I'm sorry. They're just pathetic.
The offer is gone. You guys are a bunch of pussies. I'm sorry.
Yep. Pussy. Look, cat emojis in the chat for Poet King and City Kitty. Well, I think City Kitty got up out of here. He knew better. I don't know. Poet King, you just like the abuse.
2 places that are very far away. But if I can stop, because it's something I've been pretty good at doing, deals, I guess. It's all a deal. Life is a big deal. But if I can stop that war and stop 30,000 young people, in addition to the fact that people are being killed in Kiev, people are being killed in other cities throughout, a much smaller number, but they're being killed, viciously killed. So I'm happy about it. I thought that would be something that would get solved. We have Mr. Witkoff here. I think that we're making progress.
Shout out to you guys.
That's a war that should have never happened. If I were president, it would have never happened. Putin says it. Everybody says it. If I were president, that would have never happened. But I inherited that war. That was Joe Biden, Zelensky, and Putin. I came into the situation, and it's a mess. And I will say this. I watched an operation last night that was so precise, that was so brilliant. I mean, it was incredible. If we had our people, like this general and our people involved, that war that war would not have gone on very long. That I can tell you. That war, to use an old term, that war has become a bloodbath, and we want it to get stopped. Thank you very much, everybody.
I swear, and this is why I respect my residential liberals. Like, I respect Link, Sid, Parabolic. I think there's another one, but those guys, like I said, they'll come up and debate you, especially if they got something to say in the chat. These guys in here, they lack testicle fortitude.
I mean, come on, man. Do you expect anything less? Liberals are used to being able to say whatever they want, completely unopposed, in big cities where everybody gets forced into agreeing with them or ostracized from society if they don't. They live and eat and breathe this shit. They've never heard an opinion other than their own.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, here's the thing. We actually want to hear y'all opinion, and we might actually agree with you guys on some stuff, believe it or not.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I've disagreed with people that I have ripped apart, or how many times I've agreed with people that I've ripped apart. How many times I've gone after S.E.T's throat on issues but I come up and I do it. You guys can't.
And that's all we act for. I'm like, hey, we're wrong. Please prove to us we're wrong. Prove to us we're ignorant, but you can't. Or you could just sit there in the chat and just say you're wrong and think that's saying something. I always wondered about guys like that. I'm like, so what? You're wrong. I'm like, the situation is more complicated than for an answer of you're wrong. If we're talking about politics, I'm sorry, but you're wrong is not a sufficient answer.
Bro, they have room temperature IQs. It's probably all the Somalis.
I'm done. Bro. All right. Man, I'm sorry, but that's not the Somalis. All right, guys. I guess we're gonna go ahead and close it down on this one though, because I'm probably gonna cover this one later tonight. Probably recover it once more information comes out, because this is only the beginning, guys. It's only the beginning. Like, trust me, everybody's covering it right now.
I feel like I failed. Like, I'm usually able to coax somebody up from the chat.
Look, bro, sometimes
pretty good at it.
Hey, and here's the thing: is geopolitics, and that's one of the liberal strong suit, in my opinion. Like, they're actually really keen on liberal politics.
Oh,
on geopolitics.
No, yeah, but
yeah,
I pride myself in the ability to spark debate and talk about things. I feel like I've just failed. I failed my master debaters out there.
Oh man, shoot! Look, I'm pretty nice to guys until they're just like, all right, they want to start, thinking that they're smarter than everybody, start calling everybody names, even everybody in the chat. At a certain point, I'm just like, all right, bro. I mean, shoot, I'm dumb. Everybody in the chat's dumb to disagree with you. Please come up on the stage and tell us how we're all dumb. At a certain point, I would feel like you're willing to do that since you're calling everybody in the chat dumb.
I'll put it to you this way: I was on a liberal stream the other day. I had to call in 3 times because every time I got to a point where I'd cook, he would just end the call on me, and I'd have to call back, and he'd be like, "You can't even do this," blah 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 blah. And like, he was making the stupidest red herring arguments. This isn't how this works. Like, we literally will keep you on until you get off. I don't think S.E.T has ever. You've never kicked anybody out of the StreamYard, have you?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Ever. I
don't even mute people unless we're talking over each other too much and we can't just seem to get a word in. After that, I'm just like, all right, I'll mute you, then I'll talk, then I'll let you talk. And that's pretty much how I like to work.
It's honestly a very, very fair and respectful conversation that usually goes on. And 99% of the time, when you have a liberal that's debating me, S.E.T will come in and try to help them out.
Literally, because I be feeling bad. I'm like, bro, all right, bro, let me throw you a bone here, bro. You're kind of getting cooked. It's like, I damn near like, bro, just tag me in, bro. It's like, I know you're gonna make me debate my own host, but I'm like, bro, you're getting cooked out here.
But I seriously, it's all in good faith. Like, I don't actually think you guys are a bunch of pussies. I think your beliefs are, misled, and you can't defend them because you don't actually hold those beliefs, believe it or not. But I hope you look into some of the things we've said. And
yeah, I apologize as well. Like, I don't really mean that you guys are pussies, but okay, well, I somewhat. Okay, fuck it.
I mean,
you kind of mean it.
You lack the testicle fortitude is probably a good way of saying it. I usually
Because
by now, someone has been heated enough and comes up and actually, you know, a good 80% of the time they make good points. They don't win, but they make very good points, and that's all we want to hear is your good points that you think you have.
Yeah, true. But man, look, like I said, when it comes to debating liberals, we treat them a lot. Yeah, bro, we treat y'all a lot better than y'all treat us. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, bro, at a certain point, we treat liberals too good. Like, if y'all see how y'all be doing us on these debate platforms, bro, we literally treat you guys too good. We give you guys too much respect and all that.
King, you get to run the show basically for the time you're talking.
Literally, I'll look up stuff for you and all that, bro. You think the liberals do that for me? You
Hell
think
no.
bro? You think Get a Job Parker and Dean Withers gonna do that for me?
No,
but I'll do it for them.
Man,
but like, bro, when I was debating a liberal on the government shutdown, right, and he had the craziest argument because he said, "Oh, it's the Republicans' fault why the government shut down." And I'm like, and I said, "Oh, it's only their fault." He's like, "Well, yeah, who runs the Senate, the House, and the executive office?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. I'll give you that." But do we not need Democrat votes as well to open up the government? So isn't it kind of a moot point to sit there and bring up the fact that we run these parts of the government, but yet somehow we still need you guys to vote on this?
Yeah,
so we run the government though.
We're supposed to cave to what the minority wants. Don't you understand?
Exactly. And he wasn't trying to actually say that out loud. He was just trying to make it seem like, well, since you guys are all in control, you have all the power. But here's the thing, we're voting yes on it. That's all I was trying to tell him. I'm like, bro, we're voting yes on the bill. You guys are voting no. So who fault is it now the government's not open? He's like, you know, and he repeated the same thing to me. You know, the government's they run the Congress, the Senate, and the executive branch. I was like,
no, they don't.
All you got?
No one runs anything unilaterally. The Congress is made up of 425 members.
Bro, and when I literally sat there and tried to explain to him why he's wrong and why, like, you know, the Republicans controlling, you know, the Senate and Congress have nothing. Honestly, it's not even a good
when you need a super majority.
Yeah. What was not even a good talking point for this debate, cut off, talked over. He started reading out like super chats and, you know, little gifts and all that good stuff while I was talking over me while reading out his stuff, knowing that he's doing it. I'm just like, bro, and this is a grown ass man, by the way. This is a grown ass man doing this. And I'm just looking at this guy like, bro, are you serious? I know. I literally stopped what I was saying. I was like, bro, stop. I was like, yo, stop. Bro, are you literally acting out like this? Like, are you calling this a real conversation? He's like, what? You can't have a real conversation? I was like, yeah, you got it, brother. You got it, bro.
They can't. They're not grown-ass adults. They're grown-ass children. They're grown. They're of the age of majority, but they have the intellect of a 5-year-old because they have a room temperature IQ.
That's all. But all I'm going to say is that, bro, MAGA is way nicer to liberals on their platform. Like, yeah, we will call you libtards and all that, but I'm going to be real with you. We at least let you guys talk.
But when you actually come up and you're not slinging shit from the chat, I might talk over you a little bit. I'm a little guilty of that. But I even said, just mute my mic. And if I break the mute, I lose the point regardless of what I said. And the same thing applies. But they can't accept those terms because they know they'll lose everything because all they'll try to do is overtalk me.
Well, all I'm gonna say is that, look, the reason why these liberals don't cop off TikTok and come play with the big boys here on YouTube is because they need that mute button. They never leave their platform because they need that mute button. Trust me, these liberals won't come up here unless they got a mute button.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm telling you, that's the cheat code right there. Like, think about it. You can win almost any debate when you can mute somebody
and they can't talk,
and then throw 80 questions at them. As soon as they try to answer one, interrupt
mute them again. Yeah.
Oh, and then when they get frustrated with them, call them some, oh yeah, this is how all you MAGA supporters are. This is how all you guys are. All you do is crash out and get emotional. But you just spent the whole time antagonizing the guy. It's like, it's honestly kind of smart though, because their audience, they feed right into it. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. It's like a blood sport to them. They feed right into it. It makes them happy. They don't even see how unintellectual this conversation is, how childish it is.
Hold on.
They just like seeing a MAGA guy get bashed.
Hold on. Wait. I think we got some traction. I'm here to play, dog. For Jero Gilligan. I butchered that, but if you want, are you still down for the debate set?
Yeah, sure.
Hop in. Go to the post tab and go to the StreamYard. Log in and get ready.
I mean, I have no problem with that. Sure. Well, yeah, we can go ahead and keep it going for at least like 15, 30 more minutes. Why not? There's like, oh no, bro, trust me, I ain't assuming that you're a liberal. No, I'm not assuming that you're a liberal. I was just going over, like my debating experience with liberals on TikTok.
No. So, Jerome, I can't pronounce that. Sorry. He said, "Yep, you are wrong. Come up. Seriously, it's an open stage for you. What am I wrong about? Don't say it in the chat. Come up and say it with your chest."
Bro, that was the most typical liberal response, though. Or you're
wrong.
wrong. That's it. Like no explanation, no nothing. Just you're wrong. I mean, bro, I'm sorry, but I see that probably about 50,000 times a day, bro. Please come up with something better.
You have what did we say? 5 rounds of 3 minutes. You have 15 minutes of airtime.
You say you're wrong on everything. Now, all right, he's trolling at this point.
Okay, all right.
He ain't coming up.
I guess
you're wrong on everything. It's just like, all right, bro, you're not serious.
You're yeah. Is he in there? Is anybody in the back?
Nope.
Right.
Like I said, we're calling them out and they running scared, bro. But I don't know, maybe another time. Like I said, you guys can't always depend on our residential liberals here.
What do you want to give them? 45 more seconds and call it a night or call it a day?
No, I'm weak. Somebody said, "Yeah, go debate the range liberals. What could go wrong?" You know what? I'll give you that one.
They can't because they'll be so tempted to unmute their mic and they'll just lose the point every single time. And it won't matter what they say or what I say. I could sit back and not do anything. They'll just interrupt me.
Man.
That's the thing they don't want. They don't want to not be able to interrupt somebody because if you can talk louder and faster than somebody, it makes you right in their world.
Yeah, I know. They could just, like I said, throw 80 questions at you, and as soon as you try to answer one, they'll interrupt. I mean, that's like leader strategy. They can't operate without a mute button. Or
3,000 votes and 55% pro arrest of Maduro. Did you vote for who likes Trump's? Just be the correct. Nice.
Yeah, because I did went ahead and dropped that poll here, and the results was out of 2.9K votes. Now, and the question was, do you support the Venezuela strikes? And 55% said yes, 45% said no.
Oh, well, right. I mean, it's not even a strike. We did what did we strike? Who died?
Oh, their military bases. So we did strike their military base. Well, their military assets.
Okay. So we arrested somebody, in other words. We kicked their door in.
Yeah. Kicked their door in, and I mean, yeah, you basically like in a home invasion, we struck down their door.
It was a SWAT raid. That's all it was. They even referred to it as a raid. They raided his house and arrested him. That's what it is.
I mean, somebody said louder and faster like Ben Shapiro. I mean, bro, really? Ben Shapiro? I'm be real with you. Ben Shapiro talks fast on his own. In a debate, Ben Shapiro will shut the F up and let you talk. And I hate Ben Shapiro. I don't like Ben Shapiro. But let's be real. Ben Shapiro actually does know how to debate. It's just when he talks, that's how he talked, fast.
But I've actually seen when you talk loud and fast and talk over somebody. Maybe I should have been more clear for the fucking room temperature IQ in the back.
Yeah, literally. Because some of our guys obviously don't get it. Man, like I said, these guys aren't want to come up. They want to be keyboard warriors, and that's
let that happen to you. See how you like it. Well, I don't run drugs, guns, and explosives across international borders, so it's not gonna happen to me.
Which is hilarious. He says, so invading a country unprovoked is a good thing. Unprovoked, bro. Are you retarded? Bro, bro, hold on. Like,
bro,
he haven't been paying attention. Bro, actually, Monty, you go ahead and come because he's obviously uninformed. Obviously
unprovoked. So I can't. I'm done. Good night.
Like we didn't just sit there and explain how all of our foreign adversaries are literally working with Venezuela, like Iran, Russia, China, all work with Venezuela. The fact that they work with the cartel already been confirmed. I'm like, what do you mean unprovoked, buddy?
What do you mean? Come up.
Bro wasn't paying attention.
Come up. Come on. I want to hear more than fucking 3 words out of these people. I'm just laughing. I can't take you seriously.
Okay, that was funny. See, bro, they literally be cooking themselves sometimes. They let you know how uninformed they are.
Bro. Buddy just looked at CNN. Now you have the wave of people that just got done watching the news cycle, so they know all their talking points.
Bro, go watch First Post, Al Jazeera, bro, CNN. It's all saying the same thing.
What?
Bro, you can watch First Post, Al Jazeera, bro. They will all explain to you the Venezuela situation like in detail, even and the reasons why we're going after them. And trust me, it's not unprovoked. We didn't just wake up on a beautiful morning in the U.S. and just said, "F it, we're going after Venezuela." Like this went into long months of planning because they were provoking us through their allegiance with our foreign adversaries. They were provoking us with their allegiance to the cartel. And then again, they're provoking us with the problem that, you were supposed to hold a fair election and you stole it. I mean, what else provoking do you need?
Can we put up the arrest warrant one more time for narco terrorism, gun running, possession of?
This is also
scroll down a little bit more, a little bit more. 2020 there at the bottom of your screen. Look up.
Oh, there it is. Right here.
In March of 2020, Maduro was charged in the Southern District of New York for narco-terrorism, conspiracy to import cocaine, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices.
But it's unprovoked, bro.
There's a warrant for his arrest, and he's the FBI's most wanted person in the world, but it's unprovoked.
I mean, Maduro helped manage and ultimately led the Cartel of the Suns, a Venezuelan drug trafficking organization comprised of high-ranking Venezuelan officials as he gained power in Venezuela. Maduro participated in a corrupt and violent narco-terrorism conspiracy with the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. Oh, damn. Oh, shit. They dragging in Colombia. So how is it unprovoked, though, right?
Stand by. That's not a warrant. That's a press release, you dimwits. No shit. I don't have the fucking paper warrant in my hand. I'm not privy to that. I'm sure.
Hold on, bro.
You want to go get it?
Hold on. The U.S. Department of State. This is state.gov. Like, I'm sorry, but like, unless you ever wrote a paper before, or I mean, let's be real. When you use resources, you gotta use .edu. .education.org and of course .gov. These are all reputable places to cite your sources from. I mean,
I called it a warrant because there is a warrant for his arrest because he was indicted by a grand jury. That's the press release. Yeah, if you want, we can go find the actual warrant that was signed by the judge. You know it exists. Why are you splitting hairs?
Oh, because they say, oh, you can't pull it up because that means it's not true, bro. We just put it up on stategov.com. So obviously there's a warrant out there.
State.gov, but yeah.
Yeah, state.gov, yeah. Obviously there's a warrant out there. So I mean, like, I don't know how like ignorant you guys want to be about it, but okay. I mean, like I said, you see, you guys were somebody in there talk about unprovoked. They didn't even know what the hell they were talking about. Like, I hope that guy still ain't texting.
We had a warrant for Maduro. He's also on the FBI's most wanted list. I think he's still on the most wanted list. He hasn't been captured yet. Like, they haven't updated it yet.
I mean, but shoot, though, I could always.
Why would you be set? Why would you be wanted in the first place? What does wanted mean?
Well, shoot, obviously you did something if you're wanted.
What is, in order to be on a wanted list, what first has to happen?
A crime.
And what document do you issue when someone's committed a crime and you want them?
Well, it's a warrant or an affidavit.
Wow. Yeah, it's a warrant. You issue a warrant for their arrest.
No, but for some reason, though, like I said, hey, no, I'm just laughing about the unprovoked part. I mean, like, City Kitty, I'm sorry, but you just can't talk no more at a certain point. It's like, that's hilarious. But all right, you know what?
Do we use the military to get them? Sometimes we use SWAT teams. We use if they're in a different country, we use the military to go get them. Absolutely, we use the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, their own government. We use all sorts of means to apprehend fugitives. We use the U.S. Navy SEALs to go capture. Well, it was a capture mission. It turned into a kill mission. Osama bin Laden. Were you bitching about that? Because he had a warrant for his arrest as well. Whoa! Cooked.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Can we get the burnt eggs up on the screen? Because that's what they look like right now.
I'm weak.
A bunch of burnt eggs. Good night, Set. I'm gonna stop provoking your chat.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, that's interesting right there. But all right. So we pretty much proved that that it wasn't unprovoked. You guys don't know what you're talking about. I mean, is there any other statements that you want to make so we can make you look stupid on?
Set, it's not a roast session, it's a react channel.
All right, yeah, I got you. I know what. All right, know what? I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and call it on this one. Before I just start grilling people for no reason. I'm actually a nice guy. I like being nice. I don't like grilling you guys.
30 minutes of our time waiting for someone to come up and have an honest intellectual debate, and they couldn't do it. So,
I mean, bro, they couldn't even come up there and find the StreamYard link. So, look, man, it is what it is.
I'm sorry, the chat has to take an L on that one. Well, the liberals in the chat.
Yeah, Jet, get the buckets out. But all right, man, I'm gonna go ahead and close out on this one, guys. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys for pulling up for this one. I'm probably gonna have to cover this again later on tonight, or well, tomorrow morning.
Maybe we'll catch Link or somebody that can actually, grow the balls and debate.
Literally. Or Sid, man. Hey, Sid would take you on.
Absolutely, Sid would. Sid has some balls. He's stupid, but he has balls.
Oh man, trust me. I'm pretty sure you and Sid feel the same about each other. Man, probably one of the most knowing everybody. Just know I love when you guys go at it for some reason.
It's fucking great. It is great. I absolutely love it myself. I feel like I'm pulling my hair out, but I love it.
But all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close down on this one, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been Set with Set Media. I'm gonna go ahead and head out on this one, but shout out to my man Monty, contributor and host. And Monty, make sure to plug your channel.
Oh yeah, if you want more of my stupidity, go follow me, Mr. Paramedic.
And all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and leave out on this little informational clip just in case you missed it. All right, guys, this is Set with Set Media. Appreciate the support, guys. Peace.
So America just quietly dropped a new global doctrine. It basically says we're not the world's police anymore. Jeez, finally. We're the boss of our own hemisphere and everyone else can deal with theirs. On December 5th, the White House released Trump's new national security strategy. Inside the document is something they're already calling the Trump corollary to the old Monroe Doctrine. Translation, the United States is already declaring dominance over the Western Hemisphere. North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. He's basically saying that this is our neighborhood, our rules. At the same time, it's signal something huge. America is stepping back from trying to manage every crisis on the planet. Here's the core of it. America first, but not just the slogan, as the actual blueprint. The strategy says that the US is done acting like a global babysitter and instead wants to be a regional superpower at home with select pressure overseas. It talks about sovereignty, borders, migration, cartels, critical minerals, energy, not spreading democracy or building global institutions. And in Europe, the document literally talks about civilization erasure, mass migration, and cultural collapse, and basically tells Europe you're on your own. In the Americas, this doctrine means cracking down on cartels and narco-terror groups, pushing back hard on China's influence in Latin America, and trying to stabilize countries down south so mass migration doesn't end up on US border. In Europe, leaders are freaking out. French and EU leaders are calling it brutal and a declaration of political war, because it blows up the old idea that America will always bail out Europe first. And on Russia and China, this doctrine quietly accepts a world of spheres of influence, meaning that it acknowledges that there are only 3 global powers, the US, Russia, and China. The goal is to avoid a giant global war by not trying to run everything anymore. So here's the question, is this smart realism where we're admitting that we can't police the entire planet, or is it dangerous because it gives Russia, China, and Iran more room to operate in their own backyards? Does America get stronger when it focuses on its own hemisphere, or weaker if it stops acting like the glue that holds